No. No.
We're good to go?
I have to ask, like,
Uh-huh.
is it, like, profanity free? Because sometimes...
You say whatever the hell you want.
Okay, because, sometimes
I know. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. Now that we're rolling, welcome to the Pot, the Kettle, and the Boy Maroon. My name is Grad, and right now I have a special guest, one of my brightest friends in the room, Miss Takira.
Hey, I'm good.
She just finished telling us how she's a new mommy to be.
No, I am not. Fuck them kids.
Oh, damn. No, but yeah, people get weird about this mask thing. They get real weird.
They do.
My thing is, if you have your mask on and I have it off, fuck off.
I mean, yeah. Like this guy, he was on the train. He ain't have on no mask. I mean, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm protected, so if he want to catch COVID, he could do that.
See, but look, but I think you should have the option. You should have the option because if you can't, there's been a lot of confusion about how you can get it, who has it, death rates, and to me, it's just you should have your option. Like out of consideration, because at the end of the day, black people, we live to make white people comfortable. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. That's why I wear my mask. So when I was telling you about the McDonald's story when the white man black told me because I pulled my mask down and sipped the smoothie, it's just like, all right, don't make this big thing where we got to get into that and the cops come and now it's like I'm the rowdy black guy.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like if it's enforced, just wear it. Like, especially like when I see people acting out, causing scenes in public because it's their right to not wear a mask, which is true, but just wear it. Like, you're not going to die.
Don't make a scene. Give everybody 6 feet. But if I take to eat, leave me alone.
Now, obviously, you can't eat with the mask on.
People be blacking.
They're just stupid.
It's weird. And I equate it to contraceptives. So imagine you're sleeping with a dude. You know, you had an amazing date. And he's like, I'm ready to give him this pussy. I'm ready to give him this pussy. And right in the midst of it, he puts on the condom. He looks at you and he's like, well, are you going to put on your diaphragm? Because, like I have on a condom. You should be safe too. It's like, you're safe enough for the both.
Yo.
No, but you're safe. That's what it comes down to. Let me pick my evils,
Sure, just stay away from me. I really don't care. Because I've had people, like, I've been in stores and people are literally on my back. I shouldn't turn around and see you literally right behind me, like, back up. I think, like, even after COVID is gone, 6 feet should definitely be a thing regardless. Because I don't like anybody in my personal space. Like, I don't care if you wear a mask or not, but back
I don't want to smell you.
Yeah,
I don't want to see your shadow.
I think that was the best thing they came up with, besides the free buses.
Yeah. Is there really free buses?
Until the 31st. It's been like that since like March.
Oh man, I'm not trying to broke shame, but I drive, so I don't know what transportation.
Yeah,
is.
No, the bus literally gets me to and from work, so I save money. I used to Uber every day.
What's been different about work life since this all started?
So, when COVID first came about, I remember I was in Starbucks and literally nobody was there, and I'm texting the manager, and I'm like, we really don't need to be. We really don't need to be here. Like, nobody's going to come, whatever. And then I think that same day we had to shut down or something like that. Or he said, he sent us like a group message or whatever and was like, oh, yeah, we have to shut down, whatever. So I was hyped. And then plus they were paying us and all of that. So I was working 2 jobs. And, I was home for like 3 months and not doing nothing, still getting paid whole time. I wasn't even getting unemployment yet. This was the thing. And then my other job, they was like, well, they want me to start coming back to work because my boss, she be hating on me sometimes. Like, she feel like I don't be doing enough, which ain't really nothing to do. But that's another story. So I started going back to work. And it was like, I don't know how I feel about it. I guess I'm more used to going back to work now than I was, but before I was just like, I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to breathe around nobody. I don't want to do nothing because everything was so scary. But now I just be outside, like regular, chilling.
Listen, when you work at the airport, you start to notice how dirty people are.
No, seriously.
Adults, they kids, you see, I remember there was one day I'm telling a little girl because they're telling them how to divest their clothes and stuff, and she's just rubbing her hand back and forth on the roller, just rubbing it back
Yeah,
and forth.
kids are filthy.
But listen, you shouldn't do that. She look at me, and then she go like this, and then lick that motherfucker. I'm like, ma'am, get your kid. She's like, oh, stop, and just keeps divesting. She's still rolling with like they don't care. They're okay with being dirty.
Yeah, like that's why I don't know the whole back to school thing. How do you feel about that?
Oh man, school. The whole idea of school is gonna be tricky, only because it's like, if I keep my kids home, they're not getting the pressure and the help that they would get if they were to have an adult there. But the whole school thing in general is just weird to me because I don't look at them as teachers, I look at them as preppers. But that goes into like funding and stuff like that. Because my sister right now, she goes to a private school, and they're offering her, private schools are a little lenient with how they do stuff, so they're offering her to either do 3 days or she could do her schooling from home. But when you get there, it's just like, yo, I'm on Zoom, take the shit off the screen. I could go play Fortnite and shit, come back to the screen. Yo, what y'all doing? Like, I don't think they're getting the learning necessary.
I mean, from what I've been looking at, some schools are way more strict than others because you have some teachers that's like, you have to be in front of the camera from 8 to 3 or whatever. Like, they don't want to see any clutter. They don't want you relaxing on the couch. Like, I've seen this on Twitter, and I just find it crazy, especially when kids, they can't sit still for 5 minutes, and expecting them to wear a mask all day for 8 hours, that's not totally ideal. I don't think that is going to be effective, especially because I went to a public school, and I see, like, the cleanliness of the school. I don't really think that kids should be in that environment, especially when they're filthy themselves. So they're just adding on to the filth. Like, I don't know. And I know my sister, she's 12, and she still has trouble just sitting on a computer all day. Like, I mean, playing games and stuff is completely different, but I don't know.
Mine is the same, 12 years old, computer there, they just turn the shit off. I think the whole Zoom thing is weird.
It is.
Like,
I had my driving 5-hour class on Zoom the other day.
Oh, that's light. You lucky bastard.
I thought that I was just going to be chilling. I could just turn it off, take a nap. It was really class.
Oh, they really had you sitting there like,
they was
you
calling
can't turn
me like Miss Jackson or whoever was like in the class, like to answer questions.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
But I mean, I learned some stuff, so it wasn't that bad. But I was expecting to be able to just chill the whole 5 hours.
No, but I feel bad for teachers. I really do, because it's like you have a job, you have a curriculum that you set up for this amount of time, and now this is cutting into that, and it's already a fucked up system because, again, you're not teaching them anything. You're prepping them for tests and then trying to teach them stuff in between, and all these niggas is thinking about,
I'm
they
hungry.
shaking, I'm hungry.
I want to go outside.
I want to play. I want to scratch my ass and sniff it. I want to touch somebody's head. Like, they want to move around. Yep. You feel what I'm saying? They have a tough job. They have a really tough job. Really tough job. So we're just gonna get right into it. How do you feel about having a black woman in office?
A black woman in office. Oh God.
Because what's happening.
Yeah. So when it comes to politics, the way I look at it, a lot of people may not agree with this, but I would prefer someone who is overtly racist rather than someone who pretends to care about black people.
Okay.
So we have Biden and we have Trump. A lot of people, I personally, I don't want Trump in office. I don't think anyone wants Trump in office, but Trump says what he means, like, regardless if it's what people like to hear or not. The whole time, Biden, he switched up his path, I want to say. Like, he felt one way before, and now he's an elected official, and it's different. So it's, I care for black people. I'm going to do everything to get, that vote. And I think him asking Kamala to be his VP is just like a publicity stunt, if you ask me. But I'm not mad at it because I feel like one step at a time. Maybe, even though she has a history of saying fuck black people, and I'm going to be honest, who knows, maybe when she gets in office, she'll learn some new things. She'll probably change her mind on some things. I don't know. Like, I wasn't happy about it, though, because I'm just like, it's her. Like, I don't know. Like, she's just not a person that I favor very much, like
I
black
get
or
it.
not,
I get it.
you know.
But when I think about when we talk about Biden, do you think it's because of the objective, or do you think because he's 80 that he changed his mind? Because I got a problem because they talk about identity politics and why do we need a black woman in office? Why do we need an 80-year-old white man? Why is that a thing?
Why do we need a president?
No,
That's the real
no,
question.
honestly,
though. Like,
honestly.
I just feel like because when you think about Democrats and Republicans, you know, most people know that Democrats were the original Republicans in a sense, like they were the true racists and Republicans were for the people, so they say. Then it switched. So I feel like somewhere down the line, Biden did the same thing that Hillary did and was just like, well, I know that maybe they look at us like we're gullible people, and I wouldn't be mad if they thought that. So maybe they're thinking like, okay, what can get them to vote for me? Like,
I really need those niggas.
yeah, and I remember during the election 2016 when Hillary went to some projects in Harlem, and she just looked completely uncomfortable, and I'm just like,
I'm fucking weak.
and I just feel like it's stuff like that that just kind of like rubs me the wrong way because you don't have to do all of that. You don't have to go sit in Brownsville to prove that you're for black people. I just feel like it's all about what your policy, what you speak on, and, how you do things because your history is always going to come back to you. And a lot of these politicians, they're not authentic people. Like, they're not authentic. So I do think that, Biden, he's just doing what everyone else does, honestly. Like,
but to piggyback on what you're saying, I think we've had a mediocrity in the presidency for a very, very long time.
Since the beginning of time.
My thing is, I don't care as long as that person looks like me. Because for the majority of the average person, like I asked my mother today, I'm like, yo, how do you feel about Kamala Harris? Oh, she speaks some on. She knows what it's like to deal with racism. She's black like you and me and all. No, but like, what policies do you like? What has she done for her community that you like? I gotta look up. I'm gonna look it up, and when I get some, I'm gonna get back to you. They look at it as like it was just a black woman in office. You know what I mean? When it's a young black girl and they look at it, it's a young black woman in office. She looks like my mother. She's been to a HBCU, which has never been done before. Right. HBCU and then come into office. So when I think about mediocrity and people not being good at their job, I think we can squeeze one in. I'm okay with that, just because of what it would mean to everybody else coming up. Because I'm not even gonna lie, if it's because of our parents, we're not into politics the way that we should be for our community, because that's the only one that really counts. Right. Who's your House of Representatives? Who's your Senate? Who's running for office in your neighborhood? You feel what I'm saying? Because that's the big one that counts. Because the casual, they just like, y'all like her because she's black. I like her because she sounds like she can read. I
will say though, like, I'm not against her being in office or anything like that. I do, like, from a wider standpoint, I do feel like at some point people are going to be way harder on her because she is a black woman. And like you said, there's been mediocrity all throughout this country, especially like given that most of our leaders have been white men, and given their history, no one really cares that they probably had a 17-year-old girlfriend or they did this or they did that. But now that she's in office, I feel like people are definitely going to pick out just small little things, like things that probably don't even matter just because she's a black woman.
This bitch over here lying about her period in 9th grade. Shit is nuts.
I can see it happening now, like, just because, I
mean, but that's I don't think that's something you guys aren't already used to. Honestly, like I was watching some post on Twitter where a nurse was posting, and she was saying that black women tend to be taken care of harsher when they're in the hospital. Like, I don't know if it's a matter because of skin. They think they could take it. They're tough. Like, they don't need love or whatever. That's like a real thing. We're okay with the world is like, they're victims, but they're built for it.
Yeah, because they think that, we can survive anything. It's like the mortality rate against black women in the health field is like ridiculous. Like, we are more likely to die during childbirth, not being taken seriously. Like, most times, like, we know our bodies, so if I go to the doctor and say, I've been having really bad stomach pains, they might say, okay, just take some Tylenol and come back if, the pain doesn't subside or something like that. Whole time, it could be something way worse that I don't even know about. And I've seen a lot of black women who have gone to the doctor for something they thought was minor, get turned away, they're dead, or they have like a crazy illness or something. And I just feel like for people to perceive black women as, always being strong, we need to just totally demolish that ideology, because what's the difference between a white woman going to the doctor for the same issues that we have, They just feel like, what, white women.
See, but my thing is, I think you guys are strong. It's just.
Why?
So I have this idea of when it comes to anyone who's a minority, while everybody has idols and people they look up to and a base, we're always creating our own measuring stick. You know how hard that is to create something out of nothing?
Yeah.
Like most families have never, we're not in 2-parent homes. We don't know what generational wealth look like. Like, I remember going to my aunt's house in Jersey for Thanksgiving vacation, and I was wild because she had more than one bathroom. Like, that was rich to me. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? But we don't have that type of representation. So when you see, Tyler Perry got his own Hollywood, or Kamala Harris is about to be VC, or Cardi and Meg are about to have the #1 Billboard record, it's just like, they're setting stones for a path that wasn't there for them. So when you say demolish the idea that y'all strong, I don't think it's a matter of y'all strong. I just don't think that gives me a reason to take advantage of you. I should treat you the same way I treat the white woman, the Hispanic woman, or whoever it is.
This is true.
You feel what I'm saying?
So, like, when I say strong, right, because I'm on Facebook a lot where a lot of ignorant people are.
That's
and
disgusting. Why you do that to yourself?
I just like to read what people think sometimes. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of the times you'll see comments from black men talking about black women, like, so, like, just the music that we listen to. Like, let's just say we're listening to City Girls, and, y'all don't need no man, so if somebody trying to harm you, then, you deserve that. Or, you don't need us because you always singing City Girls. Like, I've literally read stuff like this. So when I say that people look at black women as being strong, they feel like we're strong enough to protect ourselves. We're strong enough to defend ourselves. And that's not necessarily true. Like, they feel like we're not as feminine as they would like us to be, or we're like, we always, challenge their authority or whatever it is that they think. And I just feel like that's one of the main reasons why black women aren't taken seriously. Like, when we do, ask for help, or we are vulnerable, because people feel like we always, we're on top of things, or we always, have things covered. Mm-hmm. And that's why I feel like that whole ideology just needs to be demolished, because no one takes a black woman serious until we're dead. No one gives us flowers until it's time for our funeral, So.
Mm-hmm. Listen, man, and I agree with you. I agree with you.
This stupid mask keeps falling down.
Listen, man, it's itchy right up here to the other one, but I just think you guys have a real tough road. You know what I mean, with the way the world treats you, the way we are forced to treat you.
What did Malcolm X say?
I'm listening.
The most disrespected and underappreciated person in America is the black woman, and it's so true. It is so true.
But I also think that was by design. Because when you also hear him, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, they talk about how it was designed for the government to break up black families.
Oh, it is.
It was designed. That's why they put drugs into the neighborhoods. You don't want an educated family, and you don't want a family that's together. Because stability and education is the thing that can make any family stronger, any family more prone to success. And if us, minorities in general, but especially black people,
they fear us.
They don't want us to run shit.
It's crazy because, like, if you go back to, like, slavery, when they used to rip black men from households and make him go rape other black women, that's how the whole thing came about, where men are having 10, 15 different kids. And
listen, you know what buck raping is? When I
Yeah.
found out what buck raking is in the school, I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers. So for those of you that don't know what buck raking is, so what the white master would do, he would find the biggest, strongest, sturdiest nigga, right? And then he would gather all the niggas around just to watch as he had someone, either him or a slave that was smaller than him, rape the black man in front of everybody. Just to send the message.
Yep.
That's some sick shit.
A lot of it is sick. Like, it's a lot of stuff that people don't even know. Like, I mean, they just know the basics of slavery, like just picking the cotton. But it goes so much deeper than that. I would rather be on the field picking cotton than half of the things that a lot of these people endured. And honestly, it's crazy. Like, just from white women forcing black women to nurse their babies and neglecting their own. Like, that's how the mortality rate grew even higher on black babies. A lot of people don't know that. Like,
but when you hear the mindset behind that, it's like, yo, like because a lot of white babies were dying, so they weren't breastfeeding. It was
because
like,
white women thought they were too good to breastfeed.
Yeah, they were too good to breastfeed.
Hey, that's your
business.
business.
Look, all these nigga babies are strong, man. We're gonna let you, and they would do that, and not only were the babies growing up calcium deficient, black babies now, but now there was a separation mentally and emotionally to the mother. Because mommy's over here feeding this black baby. She's not showing me the attention she needs to do. You're going through your own triumph, dealing with the master and him building you and breaking you, and your father's not there. Like, it's just,
now
it's
you got
lot.
ADHD, you got conduct disorder, you have separation anxiety, you have all of these things just because that bond was broken between mom and child because of these, evil people.
No, but that's why when you say the narrative that black women are strong, I just feel like you guys, you've earned the right to write your own narrative. And I think even more so with everything you've done with triumphing through adversity, becoming the most educated, educated non-binary sex group of all of them. You've earned the right to write the narrative for the free world. That's why I don't mind it.
But it's not you, right? It's other people, like other black men, for example. Like, when we do take our own sexuality, anything, and make it for us, oh, y'all bitches is hoes, or da-da-da. You see what comes with that. I mean, me personally, I'm a black woman always, and I'm always going to be a black woman, so I've learned how to deal with the negativity from other groups, black men in general, but all black women aren't that strong to the point where they can just, say, I don't care about that. I'm still going to be me. Like, you literally have people that will try their very hardest to pick at anything black women do. Like, whether it's them talking about wet-ass pussy, whether it's them just talking about getting money, doing things for themselves. Like, oh, you so independent, then you don't need me. Like, or just asking us knowing our worth. Like, saying we want a man with stability, with money. Oh, y'all gold diggers. Y'all don't challenge white women that way when they say that they want a man with money, education, because y'all don't bring anything to the table. So I feel like it's just like when we do things, regardless of how great it is, people are still going to have something to say.
See, but I just think motherfuckers just want to have an opinion. Like, even in regards to wet-ass pussy, which I think is a really good song. I'm not going to I ain't going to be in the crib. Like, I'm not going to be outside talking about wet-ass pussy. But I'm just saying, like, for starters, even when you think about the song and you think about what female rap is and was as a genre, it is its own thing. And I think a lot of dudes and women too, they fail to realize it is its own thing. Women rap is completely different. The influences, the topics, the adversity and traumas they talk about, it is completely different. And even when you think about the women who are actually rapping, I don't think, like, raps. I love Rhapsody, but Rhapsody's, her influences are pens, people who are lyricists. Most of them men, but there's a lot of female lyricists that Yo-Yo, Monty Love, Roxanne Shante, like she has a lot of those. But then you have people who, like Mulatto, she loves Gucci Mane. So she raps like Gucci Mane. She does it her own way.
Meg Thee Stallion like Pimp C. She raps like Pimp C.
She raps like Pimp C. And I don't think they're used to that.
They're not.
It's none of your business.
I just feel like men need to mind their business. Stay out of women's business. That's it. Like,
no, it's the truth. Yo, if you like it, you like it. If you don't fuck with it, you don't fuck with it.
Just like how they feel about women with OnlyFans. Like, why do you care? Like, I mean, y'all go on Pornhub for free.
Listen, man, that bag.
Like,
That bag is, bro, that bag is crazy.
Like, I'm all for women that want to do what they want to do with their bodies. Like, now we've taken, our liberty back, and we're like, fuck what you think. Like, if you want to call me a hoe, then whatever. But, nigga, you a hoe too. Like, how many women have you slept with in the last year? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just always double standards and stuff. Honestly, I don't care, because...
See, but I think men get mad about things they feel like they
can't control.
They can't control, but there's parts of them that feel like, I can't do, I can't get an OnlyFans and get 10 racks in 2 weeks the way y'all, so I'm going to hate on it.
They be jealous, no.
Yo, they really be hot.
Nah, niggas really be jealous, bro. Let me tell you how much niggas be jealous. Like, I've encountered a lot of men, like, ones that I know I got way more money than.
Talk your shit.
Like literally, like, none of that means anything to me. Like, if you are less fortunate or whatever the case is, that's your business. But how you move says everything about you. Like, literally, guys will say they want a girl with a master's degree, a job, all of this stuff. You get her, and then you jealous because she got a job and
that's
she gets
weird, bro.
It's very weird.
That's
like,
weird,
I've never
bro.
understood that. Like, why are you so upset that your shorty is doing something positive for herself? Like, she's not asking you for anything. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like men are so weird. Like, they'd rather say they want someone clearly with more credentials than them, but treat them like as if they're just...
But I don't think we're as comfortable with our insecurities as you guys. Like, I've heard women be like, yo, I'm not gonna date a dude that's prettier than me, because, like, ew, like, I'm not gonna do that, and say it confidently.
Yeah.
But then I've seen dudes where it's just like, they'll get a girl that's attractive, and they get uncomfortable with the fact that all the other dudes find her attractive.
It's weird. Like, they're lust over women who show ass and titties all day, but you met your girl that same way, but now you mad.
That's weird, bro.
Like, what? Like,
that's weird. I met you, I liked you because of you being you. So for me to want to change you being you, it says something about myself. And then you'll see dudes like, yo, they'll downplay and they'll get someone who's not as, attractive.
And then still cheat with somebody that looks like the girl that they met because their girl dressed like. I mean, men are weird. I never try to understand the male brain because...
But but that's the thing right there. And this is why I know you don't claim you're a feminist, and I get it, but this is why I don't think there should be this idea of equality and stuff like that, because we're two different beings. You can't expect to have the same things I have, and vice versa. There should be things. As women, you should just look for privileges. Stop looking for equality. Look for what do I need as a woman? What I need 2 years of maternity leave. Give me that.
I think I don't know, because if we're talking about equality, yeah, I want to get paid the same as my male counterparts. Why not? Especially,
but you should want to get paid more.
No. Yeah, so that too. Okay. But no, I'm making less than him, and he doesn't even know half of the stuff that I know. Like, I'm way more qualified than this man, but because I'm a woman, I get paid less. That's, to me, if you're not gonna pay me more, at least pay me the same. Like, that's just how I look at it. Like, I don't really care to be equal to a man, because I'm not a man. I don't really care. I just want to be able to do what I want to do without someone having an opinion on it or feeling some type of way. Like, there's always some type of outrage. Like, it's just like black women can never win, and I'm gonna just go back to that. Like,
no, but I feel like there's a lot of things that you guys just have on your own. Like, I always equate us like to being tools that earn the right to be seen as amenities. It was like, all right, we need y'all, we need to use y'all to build. But now it's like, all right, if I'm gonna live over there, I need that. Like, I need the hair. I love what she does with her hair. I love the slang. I love the slang. You feel what I'm saying? Like, literature. Like, you read some black women. Like, I need that too. Like, it became this thing where it's like a real obsession with everything y'all bring to the table, where it's just like, yo, I need the accessories that come with being a black woman.
So, I get all of what you're saying, but I have a question.
I'm listening.
Damn, I lost my train of thought. It was a good question too. Oh my God, I'll come back to it. I never forgot. Oh my God, Wow, that's a good
And look,
question.
this is why I write shit down. I don't do when y'all see the book, like the book isn't like it's not a paragraph of me telling what to say, but I just know I'm retarded and I need
I
cues.
forget
I need notes, I
so
need cues.
fast.
And
Like,
that's the thing. You feel what I'm saying?
maybe it'll come back to
Yeah,
me.
it'll come back.
Whatever.
But again, I just think you guys y'all have earned the right to create narrative. Y'all have earned the right to push culture. Y'all have earned the right to own. You feel what I'm saying? I think people have a real problem with that because they look at it just like they privileged. And it's like, nah, nigga, we work for this.
Nah,
I work hard for
literally,
this.
black women, like, black women are the shit. I don't care how nobody else feel. Like, we are the originators. Like, and I say that because think of how many people have stolen from black women. Like I've seen, like, you got Fashion Nova, like these big celebrities, Kylie Jenner, all the Kardashians, they take from black women. Like it's nothing because literally our ideas just come. Like we're literally innovators. Like start from nothing, like you said, you know. And to me, that is everything because a lot of people can't say that they didn't do something without a handout. Like how many black businesses you know started with people giving them loans or here's $50,000 to start your business. No, we working from the ground up, literally. Like we don't have anybody telling us, oh, you need to do this or here's the right way to do this. Like no, we figure it out on our own. Like literally, it's crazy because my college motto was find a way or make one. Literally.
But that's the truth. Yeah, you guys create out of nothing like no one else does. And I think it intimidates men. I think it
does.
intimidates white women.
It does.
You know. And I can understand why you guys get mad when people copy or steal the style. But I always look at it as just paying homage.
Nah, because they don't pay homage. They just take it and put their name on it. They don't say, oh, I got this idea from this black business or this black woman. They don't do that. They just take it for theirs. Like, I've seen it all the time. I've seen a documentary on how, like, Fashion Nova, they take ideas from black artists. Like, it's crazy. But, you know, at the same time, these black businesses, they're just starting out. They don't have the money, the lawyers to fight off, you know, copyrights and all that. Like, so they always lose. Like, they literally always lose. So.
It's the Elvis effect.
Yep.
Where it's just like you got all these black singers that's writing, and then you got this white man who's dancing like, you know, James Brown with all these songs that he didn't write and the sound that, you know, I mean, no other white man sound like, but like I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but by knowing, and I always say this, by knowing, like that's my style. It's paying homage. They're willing to take the effort to steal from you, to be like you.
You know, it's so funny you say that too because literally, I think it was yesterday, Kylie Jenner had posted a picture.
Oh God!
And the caption originally was brown skin girl, but she changed it to brown eyed girl. Like, and I'm just like, yo, like these people are so delusional. Like, wow. And you know, it's so funny because I'm gonna be real. Like growing up, dark skin wasn't lit. Like it wasn't lit to be dark skin. Nobody was checking for the dark skin guy, the dark skin girl. Like, so now that I see everybody just like trying to be darker, it's just like, where was this love like early 2000s when you know like nobody was checking for
Can I be honest?
Be honest.
Because I remember me and I wish Don was here. 'Cause I remember we had this conversation, right? And I was like, growing up, black mothers didn't make black women look attractive to black boys. And what I mean by that is you guys had mad Vaseline on your face. Y'all had the beads. It's like, yo, why are you so greasy? What is this?
First of all, I feel like it's a self-hate thing because why do you look at a black woman who looks like that growing up and you feel like that's ugly? Like something in your mind or someone down the line told you like, this ain't cute, this ain't it. Like if your hair curl up, is nappy, is bad hair. Like why do you think that way? Like it's just all about what your parents expose you to and what they instill in your head because I wouldn't want my 10-year-old child walking around afraid to wear her natural hair because she feel like boys are not going to like her. How do you, you know, tell your child that regardless of what, you're still beautiful? Like, and I just feel like boys back in the day and girls too, they didn't make it easy to be dark skinned. Like,
I get it.
Literally, like I had light skinned friends and it was always, oh, you black bitch, or this like
That's fire. That's fire.
It's crazy. Like even my family, like I have my cousin, she will always call me a black bitch. I mean, like you tend to like not pay attention to that shit, but when you think about it, like,
It's like, yo,
why do you use that as an insult?
This
though?
This is really a abuse.
Like So I mean, hey,
No,
I
but
love that everybody loves dark skin now, but is it really genuine or is it just like, oh, because this is what's
the
the
aesthetic.
yeah, like, and I'm not an aesthetic,
But
like,
some people had to learn. Like I didn't know black women found me attractive until maybe high school, because I didn't grow up around black women. I grew up in school. There was Indian, American,
mm-hmm.
South Asian, Hispanic, Italian, white. Like I can only remember one time where it was like me and another black person inside my class, until I got to high school where like I started getting the attention. I have friends from different schools. You go over there, yo, who's that? And it's just like, oh, y'all like me. I didn't know this was a thing.
So I mean, if we being honest, white women use black men as like a fetish. Same way I view a lot of white men, they do that to black women too. Like people treat us like fetishes,
Yeah, because it's
especially dark
taboo.
skinned black women and
Mm-hmm.
men. Like, and it was this thing going around on like TikTok and Twitter and shit
Mm-hmm.
where you had like white women going around like saying, oh, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
the type of men that they found like attractive. Whole time they're all black men. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just weird to me. Like I don't know. I feel like they don't genuinely like black men. Like they just want the black man because oh he's tall, he's strong,
Tall,
he
dark, and
looks good.
handsome.
Yeah, like but if push come to shove, are you willing to protect this black man
Mm-hmm.
or use your privilege to protect this black man? And I don't think that's always the case. Like it's just always a fetish, and I don't be impressed. Like honestly, like I don't be impressed. Like if it's genuine, then by all means, it has
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with me. But when I see like white women just looking at black men like, oh, he's fine, I'm gonna make him my baby. That like, you know, it's crazy too. There was this video of how this black man he had a baby with this white woman. So obviously the baby's mixed. So
Mm-hmm.
him being a black man that he is, he takes his daughter to get her hair braided.
Mm-hmm.
But to mom's surprise, oh that looks ghetto. It's ugly. And
It's
this
your,
is the issue that I
it's your
feel
daughter's hair.
right, but she feels like that's too black or whatever the case is. But clearly the girl's black. Like clearly the girl's black. I just feel like you know you can never really. I would prefer black men that had babies with black women, but I mean that's not my business. But it's stuff like that that's like that's crazy. Like it's literally crazy.
I always have this thing that empathy or struggle, rather, shared or told, isn't a struggle of your own. You have to experience it. That's why the whole idea of empathy as definition is just it's a weird narrative because it's impossible for you to be in my shoes if you have never been in my shoes. So when you say like, yo, can you protect the white man? They don't even know what what goes. They honestly don't know. They don't know what's waiting out them doors when he leaves out his house. They don't know at all. Like I remember when I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he's Republican. He was talking about voting for Trump, and he was talking about how it's really bad. But what they're talking about with the funding of the police and police officers quitting because the narrative is that all cops are bad and all the other stuff. And I had to tell him like, yo, I remember when the stop and frisk thing, when the act was put in place, and coming from ball practice at 12 and 13, cops coming down one way streets, you know what I mean, flipping our bag over, pointing guns in our face, telling what the fuck are you guys
As a
coming from?
child,
As a child,
as a
you said
child,
you got a little sister. Look at your little sister.
yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
And you know the thing with that, so that's the difference right there for me because we have to be taught at 10, 12 years old how to obey police so we won't get killed or whatever the case is because this is real life stuff. Like I grew up in the hood and I've seen cops all my life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, TV will portray the cops as the good guys, the people that you call when you're in trouble, but that literally wasn't the case growing
Mm-hmm.
up, you know. I've seen a lot of people die and all of that. So it's like me growing up, my parents had to tell me, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. Like if you ever come into a situation with an officer, just obey them or whatever the case is. Whole time white kids grow up, they're born, boom, they're
Mm-hmm.
18, go off to college, whatever. They don't have to worry about obeying the police or listening to them. I've seen white people literally like not not obey an officer and literally nothing happened. Like, I've seen it all the time. Whole time I've seen kids as young as 10 getting stopped, like pulled by police, all types of crazy stuff. And I just feel like,
But there are good ones. There's good. I'm talking about, and I'm talking about us. They're good ones, and you have white people that fear us for whatever reason. They just the fear perception is different. You know what I mean? Because they hear the stories, or they act up and they ghetto. They got gang members and shit.
no, I know that there are good cops, if you will. Like,
No, but when I say
like,
good ones, let me put quotation
yeah.
on that, because I think the same way we look at police, I think white people look at us in a way.
I mean, so for me, like, I know there are officers out there that are probably genuinely good people. However, I'm not about to pick out 4 or 5 good cops because it's just they're not doing that for us. Like, literally, like, they generalize us, so why not generalize them? I'm not gonna be like, oh well, Officer Jones, he's a pretty good guy. The whole time his whole precinct is literally
No, but that's the truth. And that's the thing. There's the fear perception and then there's the fear of reality. I've had bad encounters with cops, so I look at cops away. And even if there are good cops, like I had explained to them, there could be 9 white people right on the corner, and I walk past, right, little black boy walk past, and 4 of them could be really good dudes. All of them are friends, and 5 of them are just, look at this nigga, monkey, garboon, and I'm walking past. If you don't check the other 5 that's harassing this boy, you're part of the problem.
That's exactly how I feel. That's why, you know, when the whole protest and like when all of that was like happening, like, and the world was like literally like shook.
Mm-hmm.
I had this one white friend that I knew from when I went to school in Syracuse, which was like 2014, 2015-ish. Mind you, this girl, she's partied with us. She twerks. She, appropriates our lingo, all types of stuff. Like, she has a black boyfriend, like, literally. So the whole time, me, I'm very vocal about my shit. I'm gonna speak my truth or whatever. And I noticed that some of the white people that I did have on my timeline at the time, people that I knew from school and stuff like that, they were very silent, and it bothered me. Oh, thank you. It bothered me, right? So I'm thinking, like, is their silence? Are they silent because they don't want to upset someone, or is it because they don't know what to say? Like, so I'm trying to literally think, what possible reason could they have to not even speak out about these things that are happening to black people? And, they all have black friends. So this one girl, she posted something. She was basically saying love, those friendly love posts or whatever. And then her hashtag was all lives matter. So I went off. I'm like, it's weird that you say all lives matter, because if that were true, you wouldn't have to say Black Lives Matter. And I think that's something that a lot of people forget. We're not saying that Black lives matter more than white lives or anybody else's lives. We're literally just saying us too. Like, people treat us as if black people just came out yesterday or something. And I'm like, for the white people that just sit there silently, that says a lot. That literally says everything to me. And I don't want to associate myself with anybody that can't speak up for me, especially when it comes to injustice or anything pertaining to black people. Like, why do you feel uncomfortable speaking out?
No, but bro, I think the biggest problem that I've seen with it, because again, the world just flipped upside down. There are people that just don't know, like literally just don't know. And I think it's surprising to us at first hand, but then you got to realize and think, their reality isn't our reality. So yeah, we got to explain it to them. When they hear Black Lives Matter, they really do think, you guys are saying that, that you guys are special. Same thing with defund the police. People, if you let people pick narratives and connotation, they'll pick the most negative one.
I mean, I get that. Like, a lot of people, they're ignorant to certain things and all, but I shouldn't have to teach you at 25, 26 years old why literally, like, this is wrong and this is right. I'm not saying give up everything that you believe in, but if you can see a black man get gunned down on camera and that doesn't affect you in any way to show some type of outrage, I feel like you're an enemy. At that point, you're a complete enemy to me. Like, and it's been countless
Mm-hmm.
situations where we've seen black people die at the hands of police, or we've seen racists gun down black people for no apparent reason. How is that not something that you feel like is important enough to speak out on? But let it be the other way around. You'd have all this frustration, all of this outrage, but we literally just want people to understand why we are fighting for black lives. Like, it's not, like I said, it's not saying that our lives matter more, but it's just saying that we want y'all to see things for what they really are. Like, I'm not here to educate anybody, like, at all. Like, I can give you a rundown on it, but you have to do your own research. Like, and if you see 2 billion people outrage that stuff, you wouldn't take a second to be like, let me see.
But
what,
it goes back to education, because you got to think about. I remember reading the autobiography of Malcolm X and him talking about how English and social studies was his favorite subject, but when it came to social studies, when in African American history, there was literally a paragraph in the textbook, and he would say how he would go in, and the teacher would say, "So they were slaves, and then they weren't." Start laughing, and then goes to the next subject. There was a point in time where we only had a paragraph in their textbooks, and even when you think about now, we have a month in school where
it used to be a week.
It used to be a week. So when you say and think about because as you get older, you start searching up shit, looking for your own history, or you have somebody to guide you in that direction. Now imagine if you don't have anybody to guide you in that direction. Think about how much history you just don't know because nobody fed it to you. And I think that it goes to show the same thing with information. I think there's a lot of white people, men and women, boys and girls, that just don't know.
So.
And when you have friends, because if that is your man's, I don't know if it's still your man's, I can understand why you would get tight, but I think it's your job, being a person who's educated, being a person who is aware and conscious of the situation that's going on, being a person that experienced the oppression that we're seeing on TV now, with brothers, friends, family. It's your job to educate the uneducated, unless they don't want it.
Yeah, I will say I do a lot of that though. Like sometimes when I say stuff, I feel like a lot of people don't even read it or listen to it, but that's neither here or there. I did my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I look at it, nobody sat me down and taught me anything about Black history. Like you said, it was a little paragraph about, Black history. I remember when I first went away to college, it was at a community college and had nothing but white professors. Freaking history started with slavery, then the civil rights movement, and then Jim Crow, all of that. Like, and that's literally how it went, and that's all I was taught all of my life. Fast forward, I'm at Clark Atlanta. Now I'm actually learning new things that I never knew before. But this is literally but so much that they can teach in a semester. So what do? I read outside of classes. I'm learning things on my own. And education, people limit education because they feel like it's only inside of a classroom. But like I said, if somebody who literally had nobody to sit them down and teach them anything, like, if you know who my parents are, like, my parents don't have an education. I'm literally the first generation graduate of my family. And if I can do that, I don't see why someone who's privileged, like a white person, who's had probably gone to the best schools or whatever the case is, why they can't just take 5 to 10 minutes to dig deeper into another person's history. I just
see. But look, you did that to dig in your own history, and you also went to Clark Atlanta. So that's another thing. When you get around people, and I'm not gonna say when you get around an environment when everybody's just into their history, into their culture, and it makes you want to. All right, what about mine? Let me sit and listen, because I feel like what I know ain't enough. There's something missing. You know what I mean? And I really think that they're not aware. I really do. I really think that they're not aware. Now, for the ones that don't want the information, like, yo, I ain't trying to hear all that woke nigga bullshit, like, all lives matter. Yo, I'm good on you.
I have nothing to say at that point. Like, 'cause what I want to say is not going to be nice, so I'm just, But I just feel like half of the time people want you to feed them information, and I'm open to having dialogue about these things. Like, obviously, I talk a lot of shit, but I'm not going to sit there and read the entire article for you, do the research, point out questions that you need to be asked. I'm not doing all of that. And a lot of people want you to do that. And not just white people, it's Black people too that don't want to do the work themselves. Like, it's just not fair to the people that have actually done the work and actually gotten themselves up to, you know, learn what they know today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not fair.
Well, okay, being ignorant. Like I remember the Nick Cannon thing when Nick Cannon got a big flack for being anti-Semitic, and I didn't know. Like when you read in detail what the beef was, I had no idea it was anti-Semitic to say that Jewish people run the banks, Jewish people run the corporations.
I didn't either.
I didn't know that was racist.
I didn't know either.
But that's a thing. Like apparently that is a thing.
I don't even want to.
look, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, ignorance is in all of us.
I just want to know why certain groups are protected. Like, I mean, I know why, but I just want to know why. Like, you say one thing about this group and, oh, you're fired. We're going to take your house, your car, your kids, all of that. Whole time, people.
That money. You know what it is. You know what it is. It's that money.
Listen. And that, to me, I don't know. I stay out of the way. I'm going to talk my shit, but I'm going to stay out of the way at the same time.
No, but you got to.
Like, I don't want no trouble with nobody, honestly.
You got to, but that's just my whole thing. I don't. You can't let them write narratives. But in that same regard, if you have the information, give the information.
Of course. Like, literally, I had a whole library of free literature on Google, and I was emailing it to everybody that wanted it. But you know how many people wanted it?
No, I mean, and I understand that. I understand that.
I mean, hey, that's why I had to like tone it down on my like Instagram because
Oh yeah, you got real woke. I was here for it, but you got real woke.
Like because I was so frustrated, especially because I felt like black women again weren't taken seriously. Like you had a black man who died. Everybody was out there marching, going crazy for him. This black woman dies in her sleep, and she's turned into a meme. It's a joke. Like, people aren't taking it seriously the whole time. She still hasn't received justice, and she was sleeping.
Yeah, but when you read on the Breonna Taylor side, that's what you're talking about. Breonna Taylor case, it is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It is not. They apparently there was 5 warrants. 4 of them were for drug possession in the house, and it was like months old information. She had an ex-boyfriend who was a drug dealer or whatever. She has no record.
Right.
No record, degree. I think she's like
first responder,
emergency tech.
Black woman shit.
You feel me? She literally in her sleep. No knock, no warrant. They come in. Apparently they're saying that even with the no knock warrant, they still police. But neighbors say they hear nothing. The boyfriend does what he's supposed to do. Yo, who the fuck is this? Who's banging on the door? He's scared because he know, what I mean, let me get my gun. Let one off. Apparently he shot the cop, and then everybody just let off.
But she was literally sleeping.
Literally sleeping.
Like,
literally sleeping.
Like, there's no justification for that. I don't even care. Like, even if she did something, like, I just feel like the people that say, oh, you should have listened to the cop, or you should have never talked back to the cop.
How you talk back in your sleep?
I mean, even if I was talking back, that gives you the right to take my life. Like,
but like especially in her case, and it always puzzled me, like how with the George Floyd case. And I don't the publicity. I don't really care who gets the most, but it was just weird how you could hear the Breonna Taylor story and not feel like this should be top news.
Right.
Like there was no they were late to get any medical attention to her.
Swept under the rug, as always.
And my thing is, I think everybody should be put in jail, but the judge that wrote the warrant should definitely be put in jail.
And like, just back to like how people don't really care about black women.
Mm-hmm.
It was another case in Canada. A black woman was tossed off the balcony by a cop. No one knew about it until her cousin went live on Instagram to show everybody that this is what just happened. Like, there's never any outrage for us. And I'm not saying every case has to make the news or anything like that, but most times when you hear about police brutality or death at the hands of police, it's usually a black man who's the victim. You always see that. But when it comes to black women...
It's not a headline.
You don't hear anything, honestly. Like, and there are so many black women who we don't even know about that have been raped in custody, killed, all types of shit. Like, we don't hear about it. But when we say us too, then you got the, what you mean? Black men are victims too. Like, we get killed too. We didn't say that y'all did. But we're saying, like, hey, do you know that this happened to this black woman? Can you show some type of, compassion for what happened to this black woman? Can you fight for her too? Like, because when you think about it, soon as a black man, anything happens to them, who out there?
But that's the thing. I don't think. I think morality isn't a thing we all share. You know what I mean? And even when you say that, like I remember, like I live near Valley Stream, right? And there's a woman right now, if I can remember her name, Jennifer.
Oh yeah, and
she's literally for like 3 years been telling police, yo, I've been harassed by my neighbors.
Shout out to the Crips.
That's,
Literally, shout out to them.
But seriously, like niggas have to take care of their own neighborhoods because she does things the right way, and they're telling you can't even get a restraining order because there's no arrest. And for 3 years she's pleading, yo, you hear her, it's like, yo, this shit is nuts. And she's like, yo, I'm trying to be a good neighbor. I'm trying to keep up with my property. They're throwing shit. They got dead squirrels.
Literally,
in her backyard.
the most disgusting shit you can possibly think of. Like,
how do you shit on?
Because they're disgusting. Like
that shit is different. Dude.
But I read an article that the couple was arrested. So I mean, it took long enough.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. What could have happened for 3 years?
And if those black men didn't go out there and literally draw attention to
God
her home,
happens.
They probably would have, God forbid, hung her. Whatever the case was. Like, and that's the thing. Like, why do black women have to constantly tell you, I'm in danger, I need help, blah, 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 until we're killed or whatever the case is, then it's, oh, damn, we're too late.
But do you see what happens in this case? You see young black men, older black men coming to their defense. And
that's how it should be.
That's how that should always be.
And it shouldn't be even questioned or negotiated. Like, and I hate when I see guys having to, like, negotiate with women on needing protection. Like, it's just weird. Like, just walking down the street at night and you see a group of guys, first instinct, walk across the street. Like, every girl's instinct. We're not going to even draw attention to ourselves because we don't want anyone talking to us, because then we'll have to tell them politely that we don't want to talk to them. And what may happen if we tell them no? Like, you see it all the time. Like, this girl was assaulted because she didn't want to give someone her number.
And got followed.
Yeah, like, so I'm thinking, okay, let me just be extra nice, like, just so I won't die or whatever the case is, because niggas are crazy, like.
But that's not crazy. Let me be polite so I won't die. What kind of shit
And the whole
is
time
that?
I just want to tell you to leave me the fuck alone, but I can't do that because, like, I remember being followed one day. I was walking home from the train, and this car was just driving mad slow, pulled his window down, trying to talk to me, and I'm just like, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. And gets out the car. So at this point, yeah, you can have my number. What the fuck? Like, I don't even want any trouble, because why are you getting out of your car? Like, but this is literally the things that men do, and they think, oh, you just overreacting, or you're making me uncomfortable. Like,
but I also don't think, because we don't have the fear that you guys do, it's not easy for us to, it's not palpable for us. We can't see how you're seeing it, because this is your reality. This is not our reality. We don't have to worry about, you're my man, your ass fat. No, I'm good. My girl doesn't. Like, fuck you, nigga, eat my pussy. Like, that's not a thing. And then come get followed, trailed to their house, and like that's not a thing. That's not our reality.
I get it, but at the same time, just because you didn't experience it doesn't mean that it is less true for someone else, especially women. Like, niggas know what go on in these streets. They have friends who do these things. So it's like, y'all think y'all look lame or whatever the case is because you telling him to chill. Or just like when I see, like, couples arguing, clearly the guy's bigger, so he has more manpower. The whole time the friend just standing right there while he's slapping her up. Like,
yo, bro, let me ask you a question. You got friends, because there was a big thing on Twitter about this, and I got a lot of, you got friends that rape?
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Because I hear that narrative from women, like, yo, y'all know who the niggas are that's doing
I'm going to be
this
honest
shit.
with you, though.
I don't know none of...
Niggas know. And I'm going to tell you...
That's different.
I'm going to tell you, like, real shit. Like, niggas know when they mans be out of line. They know how they mans are. Like, and you can't tell me that you don't know what goes on with your friend. Just like girls know the whole friend, they know the friend that whatever, you just know your friends. Like, and you have those same men, like, whether they physically rape someone or not, you see how he purposely tried to get her drunk or hoping that he is score at the end of the night or just getting her mad. How whatever the case is, it all leads to something because at that point she can no longer consent. So you have the ability to do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Those niggas ain't objecting. They not saying, nah, chill, bro, you out of line. They're not doing that. They think if they don't say nothing or if they don't do it themselves, then it's no harm. But you're just as guilty because...
Bro, I feel the same way about niggas getting women high for pussy.
No, seriously.
Like, I think that's weird.
And as a smoker, like me, I'm in control of my own high, but I'm not going to let no nigga get me high and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, that's just me. But some women... They don't know, you know what I'm saying? And you have these men who do things like this, hoping or knowing that they're gonna get something at the end of it, like a happy ending or whatever the case is.
Nigga said a happy ending. Yo, listen, if you nigga out there that's getting bitches hot for hand jobs,
like, No, and another thing too, like a lot of women don't know that once they say no, and a lot of people are gonna be mad at this, but if you at that point, once I say no and you're still like, but, or trying to convince me, it's rape. Period. It's like, it's nothing you can say that will be like, oh, that's not rape. You're coercing me at this point. I already told you no. But now it's like, oh, but I really love you. What the case is. Okay. And a lot of women, they say yes to that because, they feel bad or whatever the case is. But they don't know that that's rape either. Like coercion, most definitely rape.
I would like to hear you speak on the women that don't say no. Because as a dude, and this is the way I was raised. If you come to my house and I even think you're uncomfortable, I'm gonna send you home.
That's the thing. Body language, niggas need to pay attention to that. Like most girls, I'm not even gonna say most girls because I don't know most girls, but a lot of girls won't overtly say no, I don't want to do this. Because speaking from a woman's standpoint, we've been with guys who we're not ourselves fully yet, so we're still kind of shy, but we don't want to do anything to turn him off or, make him look at us like, some whack bitch or whatever the case is. Like, so we go with the flow. But if you see that I'm twitching and, like, my body looks uncomfortable, but all you care about is getting your nut, that's something that you probably should have paid attention to because now she probably caught a body that she came over here to watch TV or something. Now you on top of her having sex. And she didn't necessarily say she wanted to do that.
But then there are those dudes who is like, yo, it's not even a matter of I want to have sex. Yo, I just want to make you more comfortable. Like maybe you come here, you're nervous. And my thing is, as a human being, just knowing possibility, how we were raised, who was raised around, the neighborhoods we grew up in. If you come to my house, like if we're talking and we're talking hot and you come to my house, you have to take it as a possibility that this dude or this woman might want sex. And off rip, you tell them like, yo, like I think you're cool. I like you. But I'm just here to chill. And that shouldn't be a weird thing. That should be a norm.
But you got those same niggas. All right, you could dip. Like literally, you could dip.
But he has the right to tell you, you can go home. You have the right to be like, oh, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
Because that's my thing. Yo, if you look uncomfortable, I'm not even going to make it weird. We can still be cool after. We're never going to go through this again.
I just feel like...
Here's a lift. Go home because you got to make sure they get home.
Niggas ain't giving no lifts.
No. What I'm saying is Uber Lyft. I'm not driving. I got to make sure you get home safe because if you leave my house and God knows what happens to you, the last place you was at was my house.
So you thinking like that?
You gotta get home safe.
Fact, niggas not thinking like that.
I need you to get home safe.
But the whole time though, I feel like whatever intentions you have with someone, it should be put on the table before coming into each other's space. Like people make things so weird, and I'll tell a nigga off rip, I don't want to fuck you. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, and I just feel like everybody needs to at least establish some boundaries before just chilling with somebody or whatever the case is. Like, why would I go chill with a nigga and I'm unsure of what his intentions are? Like, what do you want? Like, if we both agreed, oh, yeah, we gonna fuck when we get there, then cool. But if you, in your mind, thinking, oh, yeah, I'm about to get this pussy, and the whole time she thinking, Nigga, I'm just coming over here to chill, watch TV or whatever the case is. Two misconceptions. Now we're on different pages. Somebody's going to be tight at the end of the night. Guy, girl, whoever. Somebody's going to be tight because that communication.
But even if y'all had the communication, because there's situations where it's like, yo, we talk about it and we get down, like, it's going to happen. And then when the girl gets there, I don't want to do anything. Like, for whatever reason, I just don't want to do anything.
That's fine.
That should be right.
That should perfectly be fine.
That honestly should be fine.
Men have the right to say no, too.
Listen, facts. Listen, like, you know how, but it's the truth. Like, because I know dudes who have had situations when they've been forced to do things they want. Like, I remember it was on, because Lil Boosie is hilarious. But I remember hearing this man talking about, like, yo, like, all my 13-year boys got head before.
Yeah, I heard that.
And I know it was good because I got it.
That's prostitution.
Hey, we don't slut shame here.
No. For a child?
Okay.
Yeah, it's completely different. He could do whatever the fuck he want to do. He a grown-ass man. But when you exploit your children to that, I have a different issue with that. Because I wouldn't have my 12-year-old brother, like, oh, come get your dick sucked by this... Whatever the fuck you want to call her, like, no.
Bro, that's a norm. Like,
it shouldn't be.
But that's a norm.
Shouldn't be.
It ain't just him. Like, it's a real life norm.
Because if the shoe was on the other foot, if it was a 12-year-old girl, would the same conversation be had? No. Because then that's rape. That's this, that's that.
No,
it's still rape.
It's rape regardless.
Yeah.
It's child abuse regardless. Yeah. But we're also different. And the world sees us as different.
I don't see it as different.
No. And you have a right to, I agree with you. I agree. These are children. Like, but you also got to understand, like, I lost my virginity at 14.
Why?
Everybody else was having sex around me. I thought it was the norm around me. So when the opportunity presented itself, it was like, all right, this is what I'm supposed to do. At 20, but I'm talking about at 14. At 25, it'd probably be different. I probably wouldn't have had sex in general till I was about 18, 19. And even then, I'm chilling out because understanding right from wrong is one thing, but then being able to comprehend consequence. People can't. There's no way in hell you're able to do that at 12, 13, 14 years old. What goes to you? The right from wrong is like, yo, I shouldn't do this because I can catch a disease, I can get her pregnant. The consequence is, oh, I got her pregnant, now what? Like, what is you don't understand the now what? You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think kids should be put in that situation. But how we grew up, bro. I remember going to middle school. My first day seeing baby carriages.
Nigga, we had sex bracelets, okay? Like literal sex bracelets, and I wasn't even having sex at that time. Like, I wasn't with nothing. I wasn't with it like at all. But a lot of my friends were, engaging in those acts. Yeah. And me, I always did what I wanted to do. I'm not going to follow behind nobody because whatever. But I seen, like, what went on, and that just made me not want to do it even more. Like, especially because I knew, like, a lot of guys were horny at that age. Like,
well, girls push you. Like, yo, damn, you really ain't lose your virginity, T? Like,
so it wasn't until, like, high school where a lot of people were, like, inquiring about my virginity. Like, because it was me and this other boy. We were the only two virgins. And it's weird that you would say the only two virgins in the school. I'm pretty sure there were more. But out of, like, all of the groups of kids that we hung out with, we were the only two virgins. So everybody was like, oh, yeah, Takara, when you losing your virginity, or you going to lose it to such and such. And I just, you laugh at shit like that, clearly. But, like, when you think about it, like, why is everybody so obsessed with my virginity? Like, why is sex such a norm for niggas was 17, 18? I mean, that seems old to most people, but I'm
your
just
babies.
Like,
your babies.
Nigga, you don't even know. Like, it's crazy because what I know now, I probably didn't even know that back then. So me having sex back then, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been able to distinguish whether it was good or whether he's hurting me or just going with it because this is lit. Like, this
that was Takira's way of saying she's an expert now.
No. But yeah, like, I mean, now as an adult, people think it's taboo to teach your partner, like, how to please you, but I feel like it's very important. So
communication.
like, me at a younger age having sex, I'm probably just gonna let a nigga do whatever he want because I don't know shit about sex. I'm still learning, so it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad experiences, and why would I want that for myself? So I waited. Like, I lost my virginity at 21, and a lot of people thought that was like super late, but even then, but the guy I lost it, so I probably would have waited because that shit wasn't at the high. But I mean, hey.
Look, it wasn't
But I mean, yeah, like, and whole time though, like nobody had that sex talk with me or nothing like that. I just wasn't.
That's not nutty to you though. Like
It
no one
is.
actually like. I feel like parents are so uncomfortable having that
Yeah.
conversation.
It is. They are, and even when I had my period, the thing is, oh, you tell the whole family now she's a woman, but you don't tell me what's going on with my body. You're not telling me how this can now affect me. You didn't tell me that. Oh shit, I got cramps. I got bloating. I'm gonna be moody. You didn't tell me any of these things. So now I'm just getting a period, and I'm just learning that now I could get pregnant. So I really don't want to have sex. That's literally all it was. Like, don't get pregnant. But whole time, my mother, I think in the back of her mind, she was like, you better not be out here fucking either. Like, that was literally in the back of her mind. And me, I didn't want to overstep. I'm not fucking.
But look, mom's probably just because nobody had that conversation with her, she didn't know how to articulate the conversation with you. Because my whole thing was, because I didn't know how to use this thing. Flick it 3 times, and before you touch your dick, wash your hands. That's my thing. That's really what it was. Honestly, yo, make sure before you even touch anything, go wash your hands, piss, wash your hands, peel, and that's it. So it's like there's so many things you're learning on the fly, especially in minority communities, because in impoverished minority communities, things are happening early. We're exposed to drugs, we're exposed to sex, to violence. But that's what I'm saying. So when it comes down to like our kids, like my little sister's 12, and I remember just like breezing through the boy conversation, but I didn't really want to label it boy girl. I'm just like, because she sees they're best friends, her and my girl. But I'm like, when the day comes that you find somebody you really like, just make sure that person makes you happy, make sure the person's respectable, make sure he doesn't got dirt in his nails, because ew.
Oh, I hate the dirt in the nails.
You gotta make sure he don't stink. I tell all our friends, I'm gonna tell you, if your friends come over and they stink, I'm gonna tell you they stink. I'm gonna tell them they stink. You feel me? So make sure he can read, or she can read.
Could read, yeah.
But I'm trying to ease in as much as I can, conversation after conversation, just so she knows, like, yo, it's a possibility when it happens. This how you should do it.
Yeah.
Because we never had that.
We didn't, and I'm the oldest, so
Same.
I didn't have an older sister or brother to be like, yo, this is how you do it. This is not how you do it. Shit, my father, I wouldn't even say we talked about sex because we hardly talk about niggas, like, but it was more so just seeing how he did things and like how he treated me that I knew I don't want no man treating me any differently. So
How did he treat you?
my dad was very like, well, growing up for the most part because things changed over the years, but like my dad, I would call him for whatever. He'd come, like, he'd tell me certain things, like just like motivating me, uplifting me. Like he would always tell me, like, as long as I'm here, you'll never like need a man, and he provided, like, and I always seen that, even though my parents, they weren't together, like, I just seen how he did things for his only daughter, and I knew, like, there are men out there that exhibit these behaviors. I wouldn't settle for anything less than that, but, over the years, you grow up and you see all of that shit is a myth, so, I mean, my ideas have changed over the years, but nonetheless, like, I still want a man who is respectable, who respects himself, because a lot of these niggas don't respect themselves, so they don't respect anybody. So they don't know how to, speak to women. They don't know how to treat women. They feel like women should be roommates with them.
That's mad funny.
And, a lot of these men, they just want to be in control.
But a lot of them just need to learn. A lot of them, because of what mom showed them, what mom tells them, which isn't a lot, financial stability will suffice. They don't understand that. Like, I didn't understand how paramount to the female ego and emotion words of affirmation and confirmation was. Like letting her know reassurance. I didn't know that was why and how that was needed. Because when you hear it, like it'll make me feel like, do you love me? Am I beautiful? Like, am I special? Am I smart?
Yeah, you think it's just her being annoying or nagging,
It's like
but
nah.
that could possibly be her love language. And a lot of people don't know that love languages, they're a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my love language is acts of service. And I like men that can do things like if you're home all day and I just got off work, the house should be probably clean. You should probably have dinner on the stove, something like that. Like, or if I'm too tired to do something, you do it because you know I've been working all day. Like, those types of things are the type of things I want in a man. Like, I don't want someone that's just gonna sit around all day and wait for me to do it because I can do it. Like, you can do it too, you know. And I think a lot of these men, like, they say, "Oh yeah, I want a girl that cooks, cleans, all of this."
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Paying all the bills, okay.
But that's how they was. Yeah, I gotta pay bills because that's what you guys want.
But
You want a
paying
birthday.
bills, you don't have to go to the bank to pay your bills. Like, it literally comes out of your account. So you mean to tell me you can't clean up, you can't help the kids with their homework, you can't take the kids to the park or whatever it is. You can't do any of that.
But what I'm trying to say is when you ask for the stuff you ask for in a man, when you start talking about the main things, these are the basic needs. You don't say, yo, I need a man who can cook, clean, raise kids. And like these aren't your main things. Your thing is like, yo, I need a man who can make me feel safe. I need a man who has a job. I need a man who's responsible. Like, but those are your main things. You don't break down your I need a partner in everything we do. I need somebody where if I'm cooking, he can cook. If I'm cleaning, he can clean. If I'm working, he can work. Like he can provide in other
Yeah.
ways other than who brings home the chicken. You feel what I'm saying? I need somebody who can be a parent and not just take the kids to school, pay for
Yeah.
their clothes. I need you to be able to give my kids substance.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
I don't think it's demanded out of women. Because when we hear that, yo, I need a man who's going, you know what I mean, take care of me and make me feel safe. It's just like, all right, all I got to do is just pay for shit.
You gotta
We're
be
good.
specific with these niggas because whole time you could be working 2 jobs, literally doing everything, and then you gotta come home from work, still cook dinner, still gotta do laundry, still gotta help the kids with their homework, feed them, and get them ready for bed. Whole time you've been on the couch all day.
Look, Takira, I have a single mother, so I know.
Like, and that's another thing too. Like, I feel like a lot of men, they feel like women are meant to do those things because they've watched their mom do it,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know any different because there was never a man in the house. So either they were forced to be the dad or just watch mommy struggle. And literally, I know a lot of guys who just feel like women were made to literally cook, clean, do everything on their own, and just take care of a man. Like, it sounds crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but you have some men that literally think like that because mommy did everything. Like, whole time, I feel like that's not really your mom, that's your girlfriend, because now when it's time for you to move out and, start a family of your own, mom either is in the way of that or you don't know how to properly treat your lady because of how you were raised. So,
No, but that's a real thing, bro. I remember me and my mother, we had real issues because for that very thing. I remember my mother used to talk to me as if I was her man. Like it'd be a real thing. Like I grew up in a house with domestic violence. I didn't watch my mother and my brothers and sisters get in a whole out spitting contest. You feel what I'm saying? So when we finally got alone and it was just the kids and mommy, I'm the oldest and you could just hear it, the way the tone, the anger, the anguish, the things that would come out of her mouth. And one day I just exploded. And I'm like, yo, I'm not your husband. You will not talk to me like this.
right,
I will leave.
right,
Like that. That's a, you feel what I'm saying. Now we have an amazing relationship right now, but it takes that and then understanding why she's like that. Like
right.
since then, like I remember, like I lived in the Bronx for 2 years when my grandmother came back, and like all I've been doing is trying to pick my mother's brain and build because I got to figure out, yo, why is she
Why are you
like
like
this?
this? Right, same.
You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just like, and then on top of that, seeing her be the parent, be mommy and daddy. Having the consciousness to look and say that I don't want a woman to be this. I got to take some of this. I learned work ethic from my mother. I learned how to speak corporate America because of my mother. I've learned how to love my siblings because of my mother. And these are things that I'm going to take with me. Not everybody looks at it like that. Some people just see it as like, mommy, cook clean, keep the house spick and span, and don't say nothing. I need a woman who do that. Because it's easy. I can do this.
Right. Like, to piggyback off what you said, because me and my mom, we don't have, like, the greatest relationship. I'm also the oldest, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times growing up, it was a lot of constant back and forth. But I never, disrespected my mom or anything like that. But I always felt like she didn't understand me, because how she was raised, she was still angry from a lot of things that her mom did. So I felt like she took a lot of that out on me. And a lot of times it would just be like, you don't listen to me, you don't understand me, just wanting you to listen to things that I'm saying because I'm affected by a lot of the things that you do. And a lot of times with black mothers, they don't see the wrong in things, like, and they feel like they can say,
their word
what
is
they
absolute.
want. Yeah.
They can say whatever they want.
And I just felt like, it's toxic. But, growing up, you don't know the words fucking toxic. Like, it's just like, all right, this is just how it is. Like, we think that this is tough love and this is how things should be. But then when you grow up and you start to realize that nothing is changing, but more so getting worse. Like, I remember, me and my mom, we had, like, this really big fight. And we always fought over crazy stuff. Like, just me often feeling like, because of the pace that I was moving in my life, like, success-wise, it made her feel some type of way. And anytime, like, I would get, like, a new job or anything, like, I would just always feel like I wasn't really given the love and support that I was supposed to get, So it caused a lot of, like, chaos and stuff like that. And finally, like, we had this really, really big fight. And that's when, like, I moved out. Like, that was the final straw for me at fucking 25. No, I was 24. Finally moved out because I'm just like, a lot of times when we think about it, like, we think our dad, who wasn't the primary parent in the house, they're the bad guys because they weren't there. But we never really talk about the most present parent who can be the most toxic to us. Like, emotional abuse is, like, a real thing. And I feel like it's so much worse than physical abuse. Like, I never got beat when I was a kid, but I definitely endured a lot of, like, emotional abuse and just, things that parents probably shouldn't say to their kids. So it changes the way that you think and changes, like, the confidence that you have in yourself. So, and, like, from my mom, I always say, it's so many things that I wouldn't do as a parent. Like, I wouldn't be anything like my mom. Not saying that she was a terrible mom or anything like that, but I just know what not to do. Like, and I would definitely, me being a mental health major, definitely taking mental health way more serious in the black household because for some reason, black adults feel like kids don't go through shit or, we'll get over it eventually, but whole time, we really be dying inside, like, literally be dying inside. So I'm, like, just watching my mom and how she raised me, I just know what not to do, and, like, that's why I'm not in no rush to have a kid.
But there's also, and with them, because a lot with my mother, sometimes they can be real dismissive when you come to them emotionally, especially when you're somebody as successful as you are, and they look at it as like, yeah, well, being me allowed you to be this person you are.
Right.
So, like, I'm not. It's like it's not a sorry, but it's just like yo.
Literally, like, my dad just told me the other day, like, he ain't have no handouts. He worked for everything that he got, and I mean, yeah, but same here. Like, I mean, I feel like, my dad, he feels like because he gives, like, monetary gifts whenever, and I won't even say that it's often because it slowed up as I got older. Like, literally, oh, you come around, you send money on holidays, whatever the case is. So that makes up for everything as a parent. And there's so much more to being a parent than just gifts and materialistic
But they
things.
don't know. They only know what they're seeing.
So me, I started a business on my own, right? So my dad said to me that he doesn't want me to, do my business outside of the house. But that's literally the only thing that I have to really get my business off the ground. So in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking like, this is jealousy at its finest. Like,
But that's
it's
nuts.
jealousy,
That's nuts.
because nobody, literally the whole pandemic, I live by myself, like I said. Nobody, asked me, if I needed anything or if I was good. So you just call me to tell me something that you don't want me to do rather than saying, oh, congratulations, I heard you started a business. There are no business owners in my family. Just one, my aunt. The only person that I literally like get advice from and stuff like that. But I was just like, you call me, mind you, I didn't speak to you in weeks. You don't tell me congratulations. You don't say this, any words of affirmation. But every time I talk to you, it's always a problem with something. Whole time though, I have a brother, right? My brother is 21, completely opposite of me. Been to jail, all types. He's from the Bronx, so that's expected. Nah, nah, but
Yo.
he grew up like most black boys in the hood, But you never hear him talking to my brother the way that he talks to me, like. And I've always felt like people always put more pressure on me, I guess, because I did everything by the book, per se. But the whole time, parents, hello. Like, do you know anything about your kids? I just feel like they know that they did everything right because, oh, I gave you a roof over your head. I gave you clothes. I gave you food. So, yeah, I did what I needed to do. You know what I'm saying? But that's the bare minimum.
But a lot of them, they don't know that. And when I want to get into, like, especially with your situation with your mother, because there's always that narrative that I'm pretty sure you heard this, that black mothers, they love their son, but they raise their daughters.
Yep.
How do you feel about that? What's your opinion on that?
I don't have any brothers from my mom, so I literally have two younger sisters. I do think it's true. Like, black boys are coddled, most definitely. Like, so let's just say if we were talking about the two-parent household, you have mom and dad who's telling their daughter, you better not be out here fucking, like, and telling their son, don't get anybody pregnant. Hold up. There's a huge gap here because now the only thing you're telling your child not to do is have sex, but you're not telling her, how to, prevent boys from trying to take advantage of her. You're not telling her anything as far as her body. You're not telling your son anything either. You're just telling him don't get anybody pregnant. Now he's 17 with 2 kids or whatever the crazy shit is. And I just feel like even when that happens, when the son gets someone pregnant, whatever the case is, it's still not a problem. Whole time, now you have the daughter who probably got a college degree or whatever the case is, got one bad boyfriend that parents don't like. Oh, no, you can't date him. You can't do this. Or you can't wear that. You can't do that. Whole time, son got 5 kids now. Done been in jail 6 times. And still nobody is checking him for anything. But it's too late to check him now because now he feels like he can do what he wants. He has no respect for anybody. He got all these kids, whatever the case is.
That's just boys being boys.
Yeah, like, it's literally just boys being boys. But whole time, though, I just want to know, like, who's gonna really, like, hold men accountable for the bullshit, like, and stop being so hard on women. Like what I said earlier, like, I feel like people are way more harder on black women than other groups, which is so true. Like,
but I think that has a lot to do with men not having men in their lives. Like, I didn't have a father growing up, so like they say for when you don't have a father, every man that you meet for the rest of your life becomes a father figure. Like, you just take things with you. You feel what I'm saying? So I had uncles. I feel like they play a part in dating. They played a part in me dressing. They played a part in my ideology on school, life, money, and stuff like that. So it filled the void. Whereas a lot of dudes who don't have those figures, whether what they did was bad or good, you know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I got uncles that have done shit that you're not supposed to do, and we're not gonna talk about. But
yeah, that's a whole nother.
you feel what I'm saying? But just filling that void, and then you're asking a person, because like how we said in the beginning, women are so much different from men, especially when you get to the black women and black men. The world see us, the way we see the world, there's so much in common, but so different. You know what I mean? To ask a woman to fill that void, I think it's crazy.
All right.
And then be a mother. and then raise you and feed you and provide for you and doing her part as a mother. You're asking her
Right.
to do that other cup of parenting.
Right.
I think it's nuts. You
It
know what I mean?
is because you can raise a boy, but you can't teach him how to be a
You
man.
can't see
Ideally, like, and the same thing with fathers and their daughters. Like,
mm-hmm.
you can raise your daughter, but you can't teach her how to be a woman necessarily. Like, and that's why I think it is so important that even if like mom or dad aren't together, that men still act as that father figure, even if they hate the other parent. I just feel like co-parenting
Mm-hmm.
should be normalized, and it shouldn't be looked at as, well, we not together, so you ain't seeing my baby. Kids need both parents. Like,
See, but look, I think it the same way it shouldn't be the extreme on the negative side. I think on the other side of the spectrum, I feel like co-parents, like even let's say the person I'm with right now, even if we weren't together, the baby's out, whatever, I'm gonna do my due diligence to be best friends with that person,
right,
because even if I'm not in love with that person anymore, I want, and romantically, I want my kid, my son, my daughter to see that their parents love each other. Their
right,
parents love. I want them to know what love is like, even if it's not romantic. I want you to know that me and mommy and daddy can be around each other and tell a joke. We can all go to the park, go on
right.
vacation, and be happy. And I feel like a lot of the times when people date, they date for the wrong reasons. They're not figuring a person out. Then it comes, I hate you, fuck you, bitch, with my
I've
kid.
seen it. Yep.
And they see, your kids see everything.
I've seen it with my own parents, like
Everything.
in the streets fighting. Like,
Bro, I'm telling, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Like that, and that's a real thing. And I realize, like, because all kids, when you grow up in those households, you have your traumas. But I realized even with me picking my mother's brain and figuring out, my biggest beef was how dismissive she was with how bad my childhood was. I didn't realize it until this past Father's Day. So this past Father's Day was supposed to be my first Father's Day, but I told you having lost a baby. You feel what I'm saying? Um, and it was my cousin's first Father's Day. I was very happy for him. I gave him like a long, like 5 minute video just telling him like, bro, I love you. You've been through a lot, and you know what I mean. Women bred us to be the men of the next generation, and you got to do that. You got to take your part, and you know what I mean. Just because we got love for each other. He lost his I lost my aunt like 2 years ago, and that was his mother, and recently has the baby, and it's a beautiful thing. And I remember my brother and sister's father. I haven't spoken to the man maybe 10 years, 10 years give or take, just because I know what that household was.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You should be able to remember the good times, even if there's few. Like the Antoine Fisher movie, if you remember when he sat in front of Denzel, he's like, you ever have any good days? He was like, um, pancakes. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, yo, whenever she cooked pancakes, it was a good day. He's like, how often you have pancakes? It was very rare. Every other day was grits. Every day was grits. I can't give you a pancake type of day. And listen, I'm not asking for sympathy or whatever. Everybody got their own shit. Like,
Right.
you feel what I'm saying? But when my mother never acknowledged it, like, I never realized how much it bothered me until
Right.
that Father's Day. He was just there. Like, she told him to come or whatever, and he had his issues with his situation, the person he was dealing with. He was coming to see his kids or whatever. And I play the father role in my brother and sister's life. I pay for
Mm-hmm.
things. I teach them things. I go over homework. You feel what I'm saying? Just because I know what I needed and what I didn't have. You feel what I'm saying? I remember one day my sister knocked on the door. She's like, Ray, Daddy wants to speak to you. Um, so I get out the car. And let me say this, like, I have no hate in my heart for anybody. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm good on you, I'm good on you.
All
I
right.
don't mean I dislike you or whatever. It's just like, yo, I really hope you're successful over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Right.
But I remember him speaking. He started speaking on a situation, on an event, whatever. My whole thing is just be there for my brother and sister, because that's what they need. They want a father. They get
Right.
emotional about that shit. You feel what I'm saying? But what stuck with me is you had an unstable childhood. You had a horrible childhood, and I apologize for it. And I just remember like how angry I got, and he comes to hug me and he's crying and stuff, and I'm tearing too, but it's not necessarily because he apologized or whatever. It was just the fact that I wasn't there alone. Someone let me know that I wasn't there alone. I didn't
Right.
experience that myself. And I realized even with me having the relationship I have with my mother now, she's never acknowledged that.
Right.
And he during that conversation, he was like, you got to talk to the person you had your qualms with so you could let go. You can't truly forgive somebody and not speak to them. I can forgive you and not speak to you. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what happened in that situation. Whereas I think I never forgave my mother for not acknowledging how bad it was
Mm-hmm.
until that day. You feel what I'm saying? And I think I've told the story in the pod where Heelys. Remember when Heelys came out?
Mm-hmm.
Driving down the block with the Heelys, I suck. I'm falling, my ankle, like it's just real swagless. And for a month straight, I'm trying to figure it out, just falling and shit. There was one day I'm outside and I'm getting it. I'm really getting the Heelys, and then like I just get down the street one good time, and it's like, all right, I got it now. I remember my mother came outside, hair all crazy, and she goes next door, knocks on the door. You guys have any bleach? All right, gets the bleach. So I'm go back inside. I put my Heelys in the hallway, and I just remember her going over me, move, move, move. Opens the door, and she just pours the whole thing of bleach on the nigga. And they're fighting, full out fighting. Like he's joking up, just beating the shit out of my mother, like slapping her. And I remember, and it always bothers me, but acknowledging it, I think it's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Just my mindset. All I can think about is, damn, I just learned how to use these Heelys because now they're destroyed. They're covered in bleach. That's all I could think about because it was so normal for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I was just numb to what was happening around me. So to hear somebody acknowledge that, who was there in the fire with me,
Broke you up.
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Especially on such a hard day, you know what I mean? Because that was a hard day,
Yeah.
you know. But that's what has to happen. I think it's gonna happen for you. I think there's gonna be a time where you come to terms with your parents, and you gotta understand that their situation was their situation. My mother was 20 when she had me.
My mom was 19.
They was babies. 19. She was 19 when she had me. It's 20 years apart. But they were babies. You know what she was at 20. Babies. So the mom you seen was a child.
Yeah.
You got to think about what environment she grew up in. What women did she have around?
Like, I mean, I get it. Like, I know that my mom endured a lot in her life. It's a lot that I probably don't even know about her.
That's fine.
But at the same time, I feel like there should be a line drawn. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm hurt. I need to heal, but I know that this is wrong. This pain that I'm inflicting on my child, she shouldn't have to be a victim to that because even though my mom or whoever made me feel this way, I want to make a vow to myself that I would never put that type of pain on my child. And that's what it is for me. Like I said, I know my mom wasn't perfect. My parents were kids when they had me, but at the same time, certain things, like, I don't even really know per se, but I just always know how I felt at the end of the night. And just saying, I hate my life, like, literally, like, would say I hate my life because, I don't know, like, but it may seem small to someone else. A lot of people used to tell me, you should be grateful. Your mom sacrificed a lot for you, blah, blah, blah. That's what you do as a parent. If I'm not mistaken, parents make sacrifices for their kids. And
Bare minimum.
yeah. And I feel like her providing for me, giving me a home and all this stuff, that's what you're supposed to do as a mother. But the affection, the emotional support, those types of things, that's a luxury that I didn't have. So it made me resent my mom for a long time. Like, to this day, like, the conversations get a little weird between me and my mom. Like, because once, like, it's weird for her, like, if she's, like, super nice to me and she tries to hug me, it's weird for me. Like, me and my mom never hug. So it's like, if you try to hug me, like, what do you want? Like, and that's literally, like, that's how I learned how not to be affectionate. Like, I didn't have that relationship where it's like, oh, I love you. Hug,
But
hug, hug.
is your job to change the narrative?
No, and that's exactly who I am. Like, I work on myself so much. Like, I overanalyze myself where it's like, even with men in relationships, because I know a lot of guys will say that I'm mean sometimes or whatever the case is. It's not that I'm mean. It's just that I'm not just going to give you this affectionate person, this lovable person. Like, you have to literally, like, earn that, from me. And some guys, they do earn it, some guys, they don't. But it's never a point in my life where it's just like I'm done learning or I'm done growing. Like, I know that there's so much that I need to do before I even think about bringing kids into this world. That's why when people ask me like, "Oh, you don't want to be 30, 35 with a 2-year-old?"
My
Why
time is
not?
my time.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so much. Like, I got a therapist. Like, nobody in my family got a fucking therapist. Like, well, what the hell you need a therapist for? Ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't crazy. They think that when you get a therapist, you're
You're
crazy.
crazy.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not crazy. I just can't talk to y'all niggas. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and my therapist gets paid to listen to me and help me find things to help me, improve my well-being. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm literally changing the dynamic. Like, I would say for myself, like, I always say that what was instilled in me, I'm literally unlearning all of that and teaching myself over again. Like, sometimes I be feeling like, I gotta raise my mom too, because it's certain things that she just does not know. And it's just like, I'm gonna teach you, but you have to be willing to do the work too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't just tell you, this is wrong, this is wrong. Like, I tell my mom all the time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You have to be receptive to other people's information as well. You can't think that you can just say things and that be it. Like, she'll get all of her shit out, and then when it's time for other people to speak, it's just like, I don't want to hear it. You can't be that way. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, it's a lot. Like, but I know for me, everything that my mom or my dad have done, I'm not bringing that shit onto my kids, because I know right from wrong, and I know how I felt as a child, and I would never want to make someone feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
like, ever. Like, just not being able to go to your parents when you're sad, or whatever the case is, or feeling uncomfortable to talk to them about little shit. Like, I would never want that for my child. So.
And I get it, but it's weird how the relationship we have with our parents molds us in dating and parenting. Because for me, the way with you is just like, yo, I didn't get the affection, so you're not gonna get it. You're gonna earn it. For me, I just didn't want conflict. So if you, and I love debating. Don't get me wrong. I love
Yeah.
debate. I love, you feel what I'm saying? That's my love language. I love when you just make me think. But arguing and voice raising and name calling, like, I'll leave. Like, you have
Yeah.
a blessed life, I'll leave. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? And in terms of parenting, I wouldn't want, and even relationships, I know I'm capable of giving the whole 100.
Right. That too.
So even with dealing with my mother or trying to change my relationship with my siblings or myself, I know I'm capable of putting the whole 100 with everything I do. If I'm a father, God, I'm capable of putting the whole 100.
Right.
When you're in a relationship and you share something with somebody, you got to find somebody who understands that they're capable of putting the whole 100 too. Because it won't always be 50-50.
It won't.
It won't. Even emotionally. Sometimes you might not be right with yourself.
You have to. Sometimes you need to give your partner that extra
Mm-hmm.
60 or that
You
extra
got
70.
you
Like,
got to.
but I guess, like, when we say 50-50, like, or whenever anybody says 50-50, I don't think they think of it realistically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just think they feel like it should just be split down the middle, and you do this and I do
That's not
that.
what 50-50
That's
means.
not what that means. And I don't want to have to, like I said, if we're talking about acts of service and those types of things, if you just depend on your partner to solely do certain things, there will never be any balance in the house, because, every day is different. Let's just say, your kid gets sick. You got to, run and get them from school.
Mm.
But because that's mom's job, you're not going to do that, because that's...
You're going to have to give extra.
Yeah, like, and I just feel like that's so weird, especially when we're talking about partners. Like, when I talk about, like, 50-50 and stuff, I'm talking, like, wife and husband,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about boyfriend and girlfriend, because I don't expect no nigga that's 25 to pay all the bill. We see the rent in New York. That shit is unrealistic. But when we're talking about a husbands provide for their families. They do certain things for their families. And I just feel like a lot of these men, they're talking as if they know what it's like to be a husband. You don't even know what it's like to be a real boyfriend, because, again, you come from a household where you've seen your mom do everything for you, so you have this mindset. So there's a lot of unlearning that people have to do, and the whole 50-50 thing is just stupid to me, because again, what is it? What is 50-50?
No, bro, I really feel like we need it as the next generation coming up. We have to delete the idea of roles. Like when you're raising your kids, stop worrying about being. Am I going to be the mother and the father? Am I going to be? Just worry about making a great human being, someone who
Right.
loves to help people,
Yep.
someone who wants to help people, someone who wants to learn and help himself. And then it's just probability. If I raise a good human being, it's a high probability he's gonna be a good human being to the rest of the world.
Yep.
Stop worrying about whether or not you're raising a man properly. There's no man in the house.
It's just weird. Like, I don't know. But you're absolutely right, though.
Oh, bro, you got it. Like I didn't realize until hearing my brother talk about it. Because whenever I'm around family, like uncles, grandmother, whatever, for people I fuck with, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. If I don't
Right.
fuck with you, you know I don't fuck with you. I see my uncle, I come, I kiss him on the forehead. I love you, uncle. I love you, grandma. Like I see my siblings, my little brother's 20 years old. I still kiss him on the forehead because that's my thing. I feel like people that you love, they need to know that you love them.
Right. And
However,
that's another thing, too.
you feel what I'm saying? So I remember hearing him talk, and he's talking about this girl that he's been dealing with, and he's like, yo, I just, like, the way I am, it kind of threw her off, because in her household, they don't know affection,
Yeah.
but from watching you and how you are with us, like, the kissing and the loving and saying I love you and the texting you and
Taboo.
talking, it's just, it allows me to, that's something I can give her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never heard my brother talk like that before. I've never heard him talk about love as a possession. Like I own my love, and I have the ability to give it to somebody I really care about.
Mm-hmm.
So then I realized the impression it can lead on the people that are younger than you. I know it could lead on people that are older than you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So your mother and your father are older. My mother, you know what I mean, she's older. I don't know what the fuck my real father's doing. You feel what I'm saying? I just know every 4 or 5 years, somehow he gets my number and sends me a invite to a baby shower. Last time I checked, I was like one of 12. I don't know how many
Wow.
on his side. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, you just gotta do what you can to change the narrative.
Definitely.
You feel what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Now you said you have your own business.
Yeah.
You just brush past that. Can we get into that?
I mean, I cook. It wasn't something that was in the plan, but I used to cook a lot for my friends and stuff.
Talk your shit.
And literally, I don't know, like, I taught myself literally how to cook. I'm not going to say that some people in my family don't have anything to do with it, but I mainly took everything that I like to eat and I learned how to make it for myself the way that I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, people started tasting my food and, oh, you need to start selling plates. Nah, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. Like, literally, that's not what I want to do. I like to cook because I like to cook. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's my happy place, whatever. And then my hairstylist, she's like, yo, you really need to, like, start selling plates. I'm like, well, I don't got no car, you know. She was like, girl, people will come to you. They'll travel anywhere for food. I'm like, all right, you're right. So whatever. Literally trying to find every excuse not to, like, really start this business. But I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So I decided to, you know, start a business selling food and stuff. But for now, it's just, like, out of my crib. But I intend to, like, take it further. Like, I don't know exactly which route I want to take, but I definitely want to do catering. I could see myself as a private chef, honestly, but
Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
but I don't know. We're going to see for now.
There's no reason. There's no need to be shy, bro. There's no reason. Because I seen the pictures. I wanted to order, but you said everything was sold out because I was hot. So I got to wait for the next thing around.
Selling, bro. Like,
You know.
it's crazy. Like, and I'm doing it by myself, so it's like, it's a lot. But, you know, I'm getting the hang of it. You know, I got my first, like, big order on Saturday. I'm catering for one of my homegirls, so. And then somebody just asked me to start meal prepping for them, which is crazy. Like, so I mean, it's coming along, you know.
Bro,
like,
if you're good at it, make him pay for it.
No, definitely. Like, and I know I could cook. Like, anytime I taste my own food, I'm like, yo, this shit is fire. Like, I know I could cook. It's just the fact that I didn't expect this to be a thing. Like, I was just gonna do it because that's what I want to do. Like, literally, anytime somebody stay at my house, like, the whole quarantine, I cooked every single day. Every single day. And then niggas was just like, yo, bro, you need to start selling plates. Like, all right, you're right. So
See, you became a chef. I didn't know how to cook at all. And when I thought I was going to be a dad, I was like, damn, I can't do this and I don't know how to cook. So the whole quarantine, I've just been picking up crafts, learning how to cook, learning how to cut my own hair. I haven't been to a barber in like a year because of this shit. It's the truth. But
I mean,
I feel like owning your own business, owning stuff, I think is
Yeah.
something really special. Being able to craft something with your bare hands and put a price on it.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I feel like that's something you should take pride in it. It's nothing you should be shy about. You feel what I'm saying? You can still be a health major. You can still, you know what I mean,
Nah,
have your
yeah,
career. But
definitely.
if you're nice, you're nice.
Nah, I am nice. Like, I know that for a fact. Like, it's just, I literally didn't expect this to be something that was, like, in my present day. You know, I just thought, hey, I'm gonna just cook or whatever, go back to school, whatever. But here I am. I'm not complaining, though. I mean, it's doing well so far. But like I said, we'll see.
Let me ask you a question. Are dudes often intimidated by you? Because you have your own business. You feel what I'm saying? You have your degrees.
So I have had guys who were intimidated by me. This one dude, I won't even say that we was talking. Like, we had sex a couple of times, and I remember one day he was at my crib, and he was like, how I should pay for his Uber or something like that, because I work 2 jobs.
Get
And I'm
yours,
just
king.
like, I'm like, oh really?
King.
Like, I don't pay for Ubers.
Black
but
king.
right.
Black king.
Yeah, no.
Black
Like,
king.
he would just get tight. Like, one day he was like, I hope he don't listen to this. He was like, yeah, I need to get an Xbox for my crib. So when he come over here, and they go, you buy the Xbox.
You said for your crib. Oh, that's fire. Look.
But then I'm like, all right, so if I get this Xbox, all my niggas playing on it. I don't care. Like,
fucking
like, all of my niggas are gonna play on this shit. Then if that's the case, like,
I'm fucking weak.
but I
can't
don't know,
stand
like,
you.
niggas, they weird. Like I said, they want the girl with all these qualifications and stuff, but then they don't know what to do with us. Like, they don't know what to say to us. They either niggas always trying to talk about sex, which I really don't give a fuck about, or they just are stupid. Like, literally have nothing of substance. And obviously, like, I can joke around. Clearly, I can have the debates and stuff, but I need a well-rounded type of person. These niggas are either one thing and one thing only. Like, and I just be so bored. Like,
No, bro, even with conversation, I just think they used to, the art of polishing your G used to be a real thing. It was a real thing, and I feel like niggas don't even want to do that. Like, I remember one of my homegirls when we was going to community college at the time, and I used to play ball with the team, and I remember how we'd all be chilling in like the lounge area, me and my homegirl and her friends and the clubs that were over there, and the ball team would pass by, and one day we're in the locker room, and he's like, yo, bro, that's your shorty? I'm like, no, it's my man's. I said, that's my. He's like, is she pretty? I'm like, yo, why don't you talk to her? It's like, no, that's shit. No, it's not. You sure, bro? Like, I'm like, yo, talk to her. I'm like, nah. I'm like, why? Nah, I'm gonna give her my IG because I'm lit on IG. I've never heard no shit like that, bro.
the whole time we don't care about your followers. We don't care about your followers.
But niggas don't know how to hold the conversation.
They don't.
They don't.
They really do not.
They just feel like, yo, if she see my feet, she see me in this car, she see like my shape up bad, she see how
Sweetie,
I
got those same sneakers. Like, I don't care.
Show the Telfair bag.
Got 4 of them, you know, black-owned businesses
You
and
know what I
shit.
mean?
Yo, speaking of Telfar, some dude today, because I feel like I was one of the first, I'm not even going to say I was one of the first people, but
Talk
I
your shit.
definitely was like
Talk your shit.
out there with the bag. This one dude was like, oh, well, why you just don't buy off StockX? And I just want to say to anybody who feels like they have to buy any black-owned merchandise off a reseller's price, that business no longer profits off of it. So I wouldn't suggest ordering any black-owned merchandise from StockX, Go, or wherever they're selling it, because that business literally doesn't make any money off of that. And I'm very, like, particular about where I spend my money, especially like black-owned businesses. I want to make sure that they get that money. And Telfar is for the people. Like, he literally made the bags for the people. Why would anybody go on StockX to buy it? Like, and he's literally like, he's trying to make sure that everybody gets a bag. And he did this thing where he like basically canceled out all the robots who can purchase things online because he wants actual people to win these bags. And I just feel like that's great. Like, literally, like, why would anybody want to not support him? Like, I I wouldn't do the whole StockX thing. Like, I buy things off of StockX, like, but not black owned things because I know how people are. Like the bags, they're not more than $250. And here you are on StockX, you see them for like $500-$600, and you know that money isn't going to Telfar. Like it's going to whoever bought that
And if
bag.
he
And
allowed the robots to do what they're doing, he could spike up the price.
no,
The same way
literally,
they do.
literally. But he insists on keeping his price the way that it is because regardless of the fact, his clothes, if you like really know about Telfar, his clothes are thousands of dollars. Like his bags are for people, and that's why I will always support him. And even if I don't get every color, which I plan to, I'm still gonna support him.
How do you feel about the need to support black business?
I feel like it's mad important because we need something for ourselves. Like we give our money to everybody. Like people don't know that black people, we are the largest consumers in the world, and that's across the board. Whether we spending our money in the Asian community, in the white community, in the black community, we are the largest consumers in the world. And without our money, a lot of people won't be making money. So I feel like if we give a lot of our money back into black businesses, there will be a spike in like just seeing a lot of representation and just in general like with black people. And for me, it's not an option. Like sometimes I just buy things because it's black owned. Like even if I use it or not, like especially if it's one of my friends that I've known and they just started something, I'm gonna buy it. Like, and I feel like everybody should have that mindset. Like, why wouldn't you want to support this black business? Like, and again, when it comes to black business, I feel like people are much harder on black businesses. Like, in general, like, when we order something, like most people, we want it immediately, like, as soon as we press, confirm or whatever. But this business clearly starting from the bottom up, maybe a little slower than the brands that we used to shopping at. And I just feel like people treat black businesses like disposable, whatever. Like, and I don't like that. Like, because I genuinely try to support all black businesses or at least promote them so other people can know about them because we are literally all we got.
You know what my biggest beef is? Because most of our friends are black. When you know your friend has his business and it's from the ground up, he's doing something, this is his, and you try to, yo, bro, let me get a discount.
I hate. Oh God.
Nothing irks me more than.
Let me tell you something, and I'm gonna be real. I don't care if my friends hear this or not, but it was a time when, like I said, I used to cook for all my friends. Like if you at my crib and this is enough for everybody, I'm gonna feed everybody, and I don't cook like. Fucking sandwiches. I cook real meals that niggas is gonna stick to their stomachs, like, and that's no problem for me at all. However,
on Subway.
But when I decide, I'm gonna make this into a business, and then you turn around and be like, yo, bro, you can hook me up with a discount, or you selling these, like, that's what you wanted me to do, right? But you thought that you wasn't gonna pay because I used to feed you for free. I just feel like we look at our friends, like we don't take our friends serious, like when they decide they finally want to make their craft into like a business, like, because we don't do that to other people. Like if we go in a beauty supply store and they say it's $6 for this comb, we paying $6 for the comb without hesitation. But because this person is black and they say $10 for their comb, if you feel like that's too much, then go somewhere else. But it's never just, I'm gonna take my money and go somewhere else. It's, you gotta get on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, this black business. Da, 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 da.
See, but I think and the reason why I don't understand it, especially if it's a close friend, you should be able to empathize because you see the grind.
Right, like
you see the grind. You see I'm up at the morning. I'm getting the eggs ready. I'm like, you see the work that's being put in. So to ask for a discount is just like, yo, yours is a little less than theirs, like in worth. So I should be able to, right. And that shouldn't be the case. It should never be the case. You don't do that to your people.
You really don't, and. You'd be surprised, though. People always looking for a handout, and I just think it's fucked up, honestly, because we don't have the same resources as our other counterparts. Like, literally, we start this shit with little to nothing. So to ask for a discount is literally taken out of their mouths. It's literally taken away from their kids or whatever the situation is, I just find it disrespectful and distasteful, honestly. Like, when people, like, people ask for my prices or how much I'm selling food for, and once I tell them and they don't respond, that's your business. Or if you inquire about catering and you feel like, oh, just because I started, I shouldn't be charging this amount of money. I know the quality and what I can give, so you're not just paying for the taste, you're paying for the time that I put into it. Literally, like, it's just so much more to my price than what you see, you know? But if you ain't trying to spend your money, then that's your business. Like, I never, literally never negotiate anybody's price, like, ever, because that's your price.
But see, my thing is that because you're my man's, support is a given. It should just always be a given. Even if I don't like your food, listen, and I'm gonna get my order.
Right.
Like, we're gonna get my order. But even if I don't like your food, I just, knowing the work, I should be,
Right.
yo, go check out T's Catering.
Yep.
Like that should be a thing. Promoting, it shouldn't, you promote everybody else.
Literally
on
free
Instagram.
of charge.
Strangers. It take nothing to, screenshot. Yo, go get that.
Right, literally. It's a 10-second thing in your story. People gonna see it.
And now the effort, you hit the arrow, like the paper arrow, you hit that, and it's a 2-second thing.
Takes nothing. And you know what I found out too, because recently when I started my business, I was shocked to see people that I hadn't spoken to in years, like placing orders and stuff. Whole time, like the people like closest to me didn't promote anything, like literally, like. And it's been people that I've helped with their own crafts, like getting their shit up, and you know, just because that's what I wanted to do, not because they asked me or anything, like just because I want to see you prosper. But you know, now that I'm doing this, I don't get that same support. But you know, people always say it's always the people you least expect to support you the most, and I never really cry over support or who supports me or not, because it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Like, I'm still gonna do this, and people still gonna know about it, whether you support me or not. Like, family too. Like, they be the first ones to bypass some shit. Like, you could send it to them directly, and they just act like they didn't see it.
I feel like, especially with us, like, you always gotta, like, ain't shit. Like, you was
Yeah.
And I think that's our way of like love. Like, that's my, he ain't shit. Like, what, he writing for who? He ain't shit.
But yeah, like, support, I mean, it takes nothing. Like, you ain't gotta pay for nothing. Share that shit.
My biggest thing is because I'm not, if you help, you help. If you don't, you don't. If I ask, what is it to, yo, bro, can you promote this?
Right.
Because if you can't, then it's just like, it's good. But I just know. I know where we stand. I pay attention. You pay attention. Because it's like, yo, it takes nothing. Because not to say that, yo, you have 1,500, 150, 15,000 followers. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just the fact that, like, I just know that I can count on you to do the bare minimum. And sometimes we get real prideful. We don't want to ask.
Yeah.
I don't want to hand out. But it's just like, yo, you my mans. Yo, bro, can you promote this with me?
All right.
Like, maybe you didn't, I just finished this video. Can you feel what I'm saying? I just finished this song. Yeah, I just made this dish. I got this picture. You feel what I'm saying? It takes minimal effort. So now you got to question the people you have around your circle. You know what I mean? Because a lot of niggas, when they're not doing anything with their life, they'll hate on the next man for doing something. And I think that's one of the biggest things we got to stop in our community, hating.
Right. Like, or if somebody gets somewhere before you do, you try to discredit their work. And I just, it's a lot that I have issues with, like, hating on people for what, like, I don't know, or feeling like because too many people are doing something that it loses its value, or
Everybody rapping now, bro.
it's just, it's crazy to me, like, that mindset. I was just talking about this too, because you know how there's been a spike in, like, certain designers over the years, like, now everybody's wearing Dior and Prada again, so oh, y'all done turned, or Chrome Hearts, oh, y'all done turned Chrome Hearts into True Religion overnight. How? Because last time I checked, a pair of jeans was still $2,000 or however much. Like, it doesn't lose its value because other black people are wearing it. But you start to see how people think, and it makes me think, like, that's how you feel about yourself, because we are the same. Like, why do you feel like because more people that look like you wearing something, it loses its value? You want to be the only person with it? Or?
And I think that's weird with material. I think
Yeah.
like, I know, like, because I've done it with music. Like, bro, I've been on him for years.
Nah,
like,
yeah,
I've done that.
We do that, but
but that's I think that's okay. There's no price on that.
Like, now everybody listen to such and such.
You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas have done that. So when you see it with materials, it's like, yo, does the value go down now that I bought it 5 years
No.
later than you found out
Because a
about it?
Chanel bag is still thousands of dollars, whether you buy it today, tomorrow, next year. Like,
I don't
it's
understand that.
so weird to me. Like, so weird. And I don't know. Like, I be trying to stay out of that shit. Because the way I look at it, if you like something and if that's what you want to do that shit. Like, there can never be too many people doing hair. There can never be too many people doing makeup. There's so much money in this world, and there's enough for everybody. Everybody. So it's girls that I know that cook and sell food too. Everybody's not gonna come to me. I can't take every client, even if I wanted to. Like, that's physically impossible. However, if I know somebody that do the same shit as me and their shit is just as good, yeah, you can go to them or whatever. I'm not a hater, like, and I don't know how people be hating, but it takes so much energy.
But see, you know what's funny about that? And niggas hate on they hate on sex workers. Them niggas stick together like a motherfucker.
Yo.
OnlyFans girls, they ride for OnlyFans girls.
As they should. It ain't nobody's business.
It's not, but it's just like, yo, to a person you don't know, a person who's a stranger, and being able, yo, we do the same thing. So you're my sister in this. You'll see that they'll have meetups and all types of weird shit. Not weird shit, but shit that's out of the norm. We're too caught up into ourselves to even congratulate a motherfucker. Like, it's really hard for niggas to be happy for you for your success.
I don't know if you've seen that meme. It was like the nigga with the mask on, but it was a smiley face, and he was like, "Congratulations," but under the mask he was tight as fuck. Or
Oh, the shit with I know you're talking about.
Like, that really be how niggas are. They just be like, "Damn, son, you salty." Like, but it's your own man. So
but I don't think there's any malice behind it. It's just sometimes you got to teach yourself to be happy for people. Like, I really, even if I don't know you, I get really, really happy for people's success.
Yeah,
like I get really excited. You feel what I'm saying?
Like, especially for me, when it's a black woman that's doing some shit. Like, it's so many like business women that I follow, like on Instagram and stuff. And this one girl in particular, like, she's just so like, she's everything that I want to be in a person. Like, just waking up happy, loving what I do. Like, I don't necessarily want to do the same type of business that she's doing, but just to be able to work from where I started to be here now and wake up and be like, yo, I love this and I love the people that I serve. Like, just having a good spirit. Like, a lot of people don't have good spirits. So, like,
people, admiration should be a thing. You should be able to look at somebody you know and be like, I'm really happy. The way you be you is making me want to be a better
or
man.
just smiling at somebody and getting a smile back. You know how many girls I've smiled at and they looked at me like...
But I think that's that's a New York thing. Like,
yeah, because I'm not gonna front. Like, when I lived in Atlanta for a couple years, they stare as a way of saying, "Oh, you look nice," or whatever. But you know us, like, the fuck they looking at? Like, it's different. But not like just a little, hey. Like,
but you also got like HIV down there, so it's like the stairs like, that nigga might be one of them motherfuckers. Nah. One of them ones.
I don't know. Like, I just feel like people should be nice. Like, that's it.
But the same way, and it's weird, but the same way you feel like dudes should earn affection, I feel like that's the way New Yorkers look at the world. Like, you got to earn me being nice. What you do for me to be nice? And even if they are nice, like, I come to work, say good morning. I'm just that type of nigga, just good morning, how you doing? Hey, if you told me about your kids one day, I'm going to ask you about them. Niggas look at you like you weird, like, because they feel like it's fake. Yo, I'm at work. Yo, don't gotta do this.
Yeah, me, when I come into work, don't talk to me. Let me have my coffee first. Like, let me wake up and then we could talk. But don't talk to me as soon as I walk in.
Stop. Yo, what are you doing? That's not even, like, no. That's you? Nah. Because they're not you. Niggas, we're not used to that. Mean is normal.
Nah, that's a fact, though. Niggas like when girls are mean. Like, it turns them on for some reason. I just be like... All right.
It's not.
No, I've seen, like, I've heard it with my own eyes. Like, niggas really do like that shit.
What's the word I'm looking for? Because I don't think it's like that as mean. I want to say, like, it's just like, I just want to know you spicy. Like, I just want to know.
Not taking nobody's shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I want to know that. Like, I remember, because you and Erica Mans, and I remember he had this friend. I'm not gonna say her name in Kingsborough. And I just remember just hearing her talk. And I'm just like, yo, I want that. It's just like, I want to know that you're capable of being rough. Like I just want to, because don't get me wrong, I would women. I feel like human beings should just be polite. You should be able to be nice. You should be able to be respectful. You should be able to smile. But just to know that you have that switch. I don't. Maybe it's a dude thing. But this is a y'all also want murderers and shit like that.
I can't
Mm-hmm.
say anything to that. I don't.
Like, damn, this nigga kill a nigga with his bare hands. My pussy wet. Wet ass pussy. Got that I'm serious.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I like guys with, a little edge, if you will, but
Damn,
it depends.
See that $150 scar on his face, girl? That shit is this nigga dangerous.
Nah, I don't know. Like, it depends. Like, if you went to jail for some crazy, crazy, crazy shit, yes or no for me.
But not like crazy. Like, it's like, you ask him, like, all right, so what did you go for? It's like, all right, so he was armed robbery.
I could deal with
and
that.
I snapped the nigga's neck.
Oh, so you snapped the necks.
With your bare hands? Oh, this nigga.
So you have a short fuse, and you might do that to me. So yeah, it's good.
Oh, that's
how I think. Like, I ain't giving no nigga no chance to run up on. Nope. Me not even going.
And then give you the speech. It's like, no, it'll never happen again. I don't know what got over me. Like I love you. Don't.
People gotta pay attention to red flags too. Like, you gotta pay attention to red flags.
What's the deal breaker for you in terms of red flag?
If I see a nigga like on social media just degrading women all day, it's a red flag for me. Like, this is one dude that I know, and I hope he ain't listening to this either. But
I'm fucking with.
I know him since we were kids, and now I hate him because he's so miserable. Like, literally wake up talking about women all day. Like, and you know how we was just having a dialogue about like black women being underrepresented, appreciating all that stuff. He feels that we always complaining and da 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 da. It's just always something with him. Like, and he wanted to know who created the narrative that black men don't protect black women. It was another case when that girl went missing and then she was found raped and killed or whatever. I'm like, the narrative always been there. We don't kill ourselves. We don't rape ourselves. Like, somebody's doing it. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like those types of niggas, it's no winning with them because it's like they see things how they see it and they just feel like, well, if I'm not the one that's doing it, then it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember this nigga gonna say, what the hell did he say? Yo, I be having some of the craziest conversations. Like, niggas would come at me for the weirdest shit. Like, he was like, oh my God, what did this nigga say to me?
Love me, I'll kill you, bitch.
Nah, it was some weird shit. I'm just like, oh, bro, you dead ass. Like, this shit ain't made up. Like, niggas ain't just start getting raped yesterday. Like, women been getting raped, women been getting killed. Like, domestic violence has always been a thing. Like, you feel like because you ain't physically harm nobody or do something that this shit ain't happening. Oh, yeah, because I was saying, oh, black men, something, I guess in a generalized statement. And I guess he wanted me to say, not all black men, quote unquote, him. Nigga, you 1 in 5 billion niggas. You really think? You shit me, yo. I'm just like, yo, bro, you bugging out. Like, why do you need reassurance that you're a good guy? That shows to me that you're really not a good nigga. Like, you pretending. Like, and those are the type of things that I have to stay clear of because I feel like if they don't get their way or whatever the case is, then they gonna turn into a whole different person. And then you see who they really are, and then it's like, oh, damn, maybe I should have paid attention before, but nah. You gotta see people for who they are.
I think my biggest thing is with women, deal breakers, like gender skepticism. Like if I can't have female friends, like if me having female friends is a problem with you, just don't even speak to me. Cause that shit is weird, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't trust the man that can't have female friends. So like I assume as a woman you should have male friends.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? If that's not the case, then something's off. Something off in your ticket.
Yeah.
Nah, cause you don't know what they really want, and all they want to fuck. I know the signs. Like I see it. It's just like, yeah.
Listen, I don't know. Like, people be expecting you to drop your friends as soon as you start talking to them, and it's just weird. Like, no, my friends.
It's not gonna be a thing.
My friends are always gonna be here.
Like I have female friends I've known since middle school, since I was 15.
Not that ass.
I have 10 years with, 6 years with.
And they're all genuine friendships.
And
Why
facts.
the fuck would I end those friendships because
of you?
Like,
I just met you.
The audacity. That's
You giving me
literally
pussy now, so I gotta like damn you.
Yeah, no, you better start liking these friends too, or
Nah,
have to
man.
bounce.
But promotion, because we about to get out of here. Promotion next sale. When's the next big sale happening?
It was gonna be Saturday, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But you guys can follow me on Instagram to find out at Jimmy Nooch. That's JIMMYNEUTCHH.
I'm gonna have it right here. We're gonna have it right here. You know what I'm saying? But guys, this is the Pot the Kettle on the Boy Maroon, and love is love.